Hey kids, streamers and jammers, welcome to another episode of Park Streamers. We're excited to have you here because we have a lot to talk about tonight, such as Epic Universe. We have Disney Starlight that's coming out, and we also have some Disney bites that are going to be really great to talk about with Cordy tonight. So, but before we get started, let me go ahead and introduce my other co-host. Oh, and we forgot to put Tom backstage, but Tom, you're with us anyhow, so we'll introduce Tom. Actually, you know what? Let's just introduce Tom right now. So, guys, Tom F. is with us. He is actually one of my moderators for Berry Place 28, and he also went with me to Epic Universe. So he's here to talk about Epic Universe with us. So, Tom, would you like to talk about yourself, introduce yourself to everyone?
Yeah. Tom F. I'm just one of Barry's mods, a bunch of mods everywhere else, and I tagged along with Bob at Epic, and it was fun.
Cool. Very awesome. Well, let's go ahead and talk about our other co-hosts here. So, Cordy, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us where you can find it, or where we can find you?
Of course. Cordy, California. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, and Discord. I have a Discord as well. So,
had to think about that for a minute, didn't you? And Theme Park Casual.
Hey, kids. Yeah, you can find me on YouTube, X, and Instagram, all of them at Theme Park Casual.
Very cool. And you guys can find me at Berry Place 28 on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, X, and Facebook. All right. So before we get started, let's go ahead and go into the chat and welcome everyone in, because we have a ton of people in the chat, and this is awesome.
Yeah, I've got a lot of people in. So EXP626, welcome in. Karen E, good to see you. Paul M, Newitt. We've got Dr. Hulk Sanchez, Most Wanted, Adventures with Roto Commish, John Way, Mike. It's scrolling up on me now. I got to go back and grab everybody. Hope Blay Myers, John E, Carol G, and the Corn Dogs, Linnea Ward, Emmy Jo Rod, Weird Old Man, Kate E, Karen E, Mattercam Matt. It really does feel like Romper Room, doesn't it?
I know. Do we get spaceship ears?
Spaceship Ears, Linda F, Kelly DiMaggio, Haunted Mermaid,
Gladys. No flash.
Gladys. Peyton Edwards, welcome in. I think that's everybody, is it?
We got
Mark McHugh.
Mark, how you doing, buddy? Welcome in. All right.
Chad Pritchard.
Linda F. Did we get Linda F? Hello, Linda F.
It's Linda F. Ambrosia, Daryl Chin, Tamara Delaney. And I think that covers everybody at the moment. So welcome in, everyone.
Awesome. Well, before we get started and we start talking about all the great stuff that we have to discuss tonight, I wanted to bring up something that's near and dear to our hearts, and that is the Chalk Walk. So I wanted to let everyone know that we have now made it to $18,026 as of today. So congratulations to all the park streamers, and thank you to all of our supporters, to everyone who has donated money to the Chalk Walk. We really appreciate it. We are on our way to $20,000, which just blows me away, thinking that we are actually working towards 20,000. I thought at this time we'd probably still be working towards 14,001 $1, but we are actually working towards 20,000. So that is amazing, and kudos to all of our donors and to everyone's participated. And don't forget, if you do donate $25 or more, you get entered into a raffle to win some other amazing prizes and gifts. And of course, if you donate $200 total between my channel, Cordy's channel, and Theme Park Casuals channel, you will be entered to win a amazing guitar. It's just so cool. Tom, you've seen the guitar, right? What do you think of it?
I think it's awesome. I might want to win it. I mean, I'm kind of, into guitars.
Yeah. Well, I think anyone who's into guitars would be into this one. I mean, it's just really cool and amazing. So I can't wait to reveal some more details about it when we're able to. At the same time, I can't wait to see who actually wins this, masterpiece, because it's just really, really cool. So very awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's if you want a one of a kind, this is the place to go, and you can enter by donating to a very good cause. So.
Yep, absolutely. So with that, I think we'll just jump into it and talk about Epic Universe. So Tom lives in Florida, and so he was kind enough to say, hey, I'll get a ticket and go with you guys. And the thing was that I can't say thank you enough to Tom, because while me and my wife and my daughter were on rides, he would, either be parent swapping with us later, or I would, go with him on a ride, and my daughter and my wife would go on a ride, and then we do the, family swap thing. So he kept the stream going when we were doing rides and attractions or waiting in crazy lines. So, which we'll talk about. I will tell you that, going into this whole trip, I had no intentions of actually, I was like, hey, let's just stay at the Epic Universe or Universal area. And by the way, Mike, thank you for being a member for 2 months. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, so my family and I were staying at the Cabana Bay Hotel, and it was, we've stayed there before. It was a lot of fun. It was great. Obviously, Volcano Bay is the water park right behind me in the photo there, and I did a couple live streams there. Had I not ever streamed in Walt Disney World, Florida, that is, I probably wouldn't have gone to Walt Disney World. But thank you to everyone for joining me on all my different live streams, because we did a bunch and they were all successful and we had a great time. So Tom said, hey, I'll join you guys. And I said, great. Well, Tom was kind enough to pick us up from the hotel so we wouldn't have to take the bus down there. We parked at 7:45 a.m. and we were able to get into the park by 8:10. Oh, and I forgot I was going to download the movie and show you guys. So when you go to the parks now for Universal, the first time you take your ticket, they take a picture of you and they scan your ticket. After that, you do not need your ticket anymore, because everything is face recognition. So if you forget your ticket and you go to one of the theme parks, doesn't matter. They don't want to see it anyhow. They scan your face and they let you in. And it's a very quick process. It's very, very quick. While we're talking here, I might see if I can download it and show you guys. I'm not sure how big it is, but it was really neat to see that done. Now I can see where some people might have some issues with that because they're taking your photo, but they do it at Disneyland. They do it at all the other theme parks for your passes. So it's no different. It's just that, it scans you real quick, does a face recognition, and they let you in. So we got into Super Nintendo World right away. My wife and daughter and I went to Super Mario Kart because they'd never seen Super Nintendo World over here in Hollywood, and they wanted to experience the Mario Kart ride. And so we did that. The crazy thing is that because we were staying in the hotel, we got in an hour early. So I'm thinking, this is awesome. We got in the park at 8:10. We got to Super Nintendo World at 8:20. And now we're in line for this ride. Why isn't the line moving? And it was because they didn't open yet. So they didn't announce it till 8:40 in the morning. Hey, Mario Kart's open. It's like, what do you mean it's opening now? It was supposed to be open at 8 a.m. when you guys let us in for an hour early. And so we were like, this is ridiculous. Anyhow, we waited an hour and 20 minutes total to ride the ride. And it was like, really? And so we got done with that. And then we met up with Tom again, and we went over to Donkey Kong Country. And and we stood in the single rider line for Mine Kart Madness, which is a really interesting ride because the cars are very big. And so there's plenty of room for you in your backpack or bags. They don't make you get a locker for that ride, which is great. But when you put your restraint down, there's nothing holding your bag in. You literally need to hold your bag, otherwise that thing is falling off somewhere, right? It's kind of crazy.
Yes.
And those restraints were kind of crazy too, because they don't lock in place. So when they shoot you out of the barrel the very first time, the restraint came into my stomach. I'm like, okay, that's tight. It's tighter. But it was a fun ride. It's not very long, but it was a fun ride. We got done with that, and we headed back to the front of the park where I started the live stream. And we headed over to the Isle of Berk first, and we saw the Entrainable Dragon show, which was a great show. I recommend it. Very well done. I mean, it was very high class, and
that show was awesome.
Acting was good. Yes, it's just fun. Like I said, and it's short but sweet, and gets right to the point. There's no fluff. And when you see the dragons in that show, especially Toothless flying over you, you're just like, oh wow, this is amazing. And it's funny too, because they're like, no video or flash recording whatsoever, and everyone's got their phones out in that show. It's like everyone's like, oh, look at that, so they announced that, but no one put their phones away. After that, we headed to Mead Hall because Ariel was hungry, so Tom said, hey, we should go to Mead Hall, and it was great. We went there, checked out the restaurant there, and a lot of the restaurants tend to be more self-service, where you sit at a table, you have a QR code, you order from the menu, and then they bring the food to your table, which is really, really nice. And so I had the mead. Tom and I had the sausage. What do you think of the sausage, Tom?
It was okay. I actually liked the way the bangers and mash is better at the Harry Potter Land compared to the Mead Hall. That was but the sauce was nice because it was a different taste. Had that berry taste to it. It was like a boysenberry. I don't know what you would call that. It was different.
Yeah, and the funny thing was the mead was a boysenberry and black currant mead. It was so good. It was very like sweet at first and then tart with an aftertaste, but it was so good. And I'm sitting here drinking, going, I could have a few more of these, but
he was buried out.
Yeah, it was. Well, and that was the funny thing. We were joking about how it was a berry barbecue sauce that went with the sausage. So that was kind of neat. It also had some cooked carrots and a potato that it came with. My daughter and my wife had a salad. My wife really liked it. My daughter didn't really care for her salad very much. But the inside was really, really cool. It looked like a throne room with tapestries all over, for the different dragons, including Toothless.
The hidden throne.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I know. You told me about it. I'm like, I didn't see a throne. I walked around the whole, restaurant. I didn't see it. You're like, it's over there. And then I go back and I'm like, oh, there it is. How did I miss that? But the thing is that by the time this had happened, we literally had been there for about 5 hours, and we had only been on 2 rides, 1 show, and lunch. And I'm like, this is not going well. For some reason, everything has super long lines. We need to get express passes. So Tom says, you know what? While you're finishing up lunch and the ladies are going to the restroom, I'm going to go stand in line for the concierge. And so he did, which was really nice of Tom to do that. And then we joined him. And then when we joined him there, well, Tom, what did you encounter when you got to the concierge?
People who were, let's just say, aggravated and very charming with their words and their way of being. They were fed up. They were a little bit upset because a lot of things were down. Mm-hmm. And we found out later on that day they increased capacity by a lot, and the rides all went down at one time. And as they said, they kind of routed the early park goers to one land or two. You had a choice between, I think that morning was Nintendo or Dark Universe. I thought it was. Mm-hmm. So you had those two. And if they don't start the rides in time, like Bob said, it kind of a time sink. And if other things go down, it forces out. So everybody's like, hey, listen, I want a refund. I've been here for 5 hours. I got to do nothing. Mm-hmm. So people on that line, they were angry.
Yeah, and I was kind of shocked because when I came over to meet Tom, and he was probably about 60 people back in this line. There was a lot of people in line, and I was shocked to hear how many people were complaining. And Tom had told me, "Hey, people are not happy." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." And so people were like, I want to get a refund. I want express passes. I want tickets to another park. I mean, they were saying all sorts of different things. And so we did have someone from management. We had a few people from management actually come over and talk to people. Now, it was really interesting because I'm going to show you the clip here in a moment when the management comes over to say, hey, I know this is not the experience you wanted. You're not having the day you wanted. Here's what we're trying to do for you. Well, people, well, let me put it this way. They came over to tell us what they were planning on doing. The problem is they weren't quite doing that, and I'll get into more details in a moment. So he comes over and says, hey, I got a business card. If you want to take this business card, you can get out of line. Go sit at a restaurant and call guest services, get a claim number, and resolve your issue that way instead of standing in line here. Well, what he failed to tell everyone is even if you call guest services and you get a case number, to resolve it, you got to get back in line at guest services to resolve it. Really? So he didn't clarify that. And then when he came back a little bit later, I think it was about 9 minutes later, I actually talked to him, and I'm going to let you hear that conversation. It's kind of hard to hear because I was holding the camera away from him. I wanted to be respectful, not have the camera on him, but at the same time, you can kind of hear him in the background saying, and then I kind of clarify, what he was saying. So this is when things were kind of going crazy. This is when it really started going crazy for us. And by the way, what we wanted to do is we wanted to buy express passes. That's what we wanted to do. Yeah. Buy express passes so we could try to get on everything since we're doing this live stream. And I want to make sure that we did everything we could because there's only 11 rides in the park. That's it. Yes. And 2 shows. So this is the experience here. Let me bring it up for you guys. So this is from my live stream on Wednesday of last week. Now, listen to the music, by the way. The music is so soothing. It's amazing. It's relaxing. They did a great job. And I'm going to kind of walk you through this here in a moment because I'm going to talk. And by the way, I think someone while the manager was talking, so my apologies. Someone had congratulated me on my subs because I hit 9,000 last week. But listen to this music. Yeah, that's the problem too, is that the load times aren't very good at Universal. They don't do a good job of loading up the rides fast enough. Even on Mario Kart, it was terrible. Okay, so the 2 gentlemen, the one in the pink shirt and the one in the red shirt with the white caps on, they're from management. And they're the ones that are coming over to see what's going on and to talk to everyone. The one in the red shirt is the one that's going to talk to us. Yeah, so we got a couple of people here.
If I can have your attention, please. First of all, we apologize. This is not the experience that you guys want. It's not the experience we want to give you. We understand that you guys are not having a day that you like. If you do not want to wait for this time, you got some business cards with a phone number or email to start a case that way. That way you may be able to get out of the heat, go to a restaurant or something. What you will need is your driver's license, some form of ID, and your ticket. You will need all the tickets for the party in your group. If you're looking for any kind of assistance with the experience that you had, if it's something else, you probably just need your ID and the one ticket. For example, if you're here for an accessibility pass. But if you're here because you are not having the day you want, make sure you have all your group's tickets, or at least a picture of it and identification. For those of you that want a business card, let me see if I can get some more.
Okay. So that's the first time he came to talk to everyone and let them know, hey, sorry you're not having a great day. And by the way, there are concierge locations like this outside of each portal. I think there's 5 of them around the park. And ours only had, so they can hold 3 employees in there, or team members, but they only had 2 when we first got there. And then they added a 3rd person. When we were standing in line right now, at this point, there was only 2 team members there. And I asked the guy when he comes up, which I'm going to show you in a moment here, hey, how come there's not more people here, So this is where he's going to walk up and I'm going to start talking to him. You have to listen a little carefully, and then I'm going to recap what he says. Sydney? Okay. No problem. Is there a reason why we don't have more open windows?
I think the problem is that because of the volume of it's basically they've got all this staff and everything. I think this one actually has a do they have Universal Express available in all today? Yeah, it sounds to me, I can't guarantee it, it sounds what they're doing is the Express Pass or return tickets is what it kind of sounds like. That's their gig. I help you park cars all day long, answer those questions, but
All right, thank you. All right, so apparently they're refunding tickets or giving Universal Express passes. Okay, so that's what he told us. He says, and the funny thing was he's from parking management. So he's not actually from operations, but he and other management came over to, help with this situation and to, kind of calm down the crowds. People are really upset because obviously he didn't get the opportunity to, see what you wanted to see. In fact, what we found out later, Tom and I found out, oops, sorry. Give me 1 second here. I actually closed out my page. Oops, that's not good. There it is. Okay, sorry about that, everyone. So Tom and I found out later, people had actually gotten in line for Battle for the Ministry at just after 8 a.m. The ride doesn't open until 9 a.m. At 8:30, they notified people, sorry, the ride's not working. We're not sure when it's going to be up. It's not opening at 9 a.m. They never said anything for hours. And at 12:30 p.m., they announced to everyone waiting in line, the ride's not opening up until later this afternoon. We don't know when. Here's some express passes. Leave the line now and we'll see you later. And it was like, what? That the major ride that everyone wanted to get on was shut down even before the park opened. And so I think we were kind of shocked about that too. I mean, and Tom will tell you, I think he was kind of shocked because it's like every time we looked at the times, it was like everything was either delayed. They don't say that shut down or the ride's down. They say delayed.
Delayed.
So everything, yes.
Yeah. 220
so
minutes, so forth.
Right?
And then at the end of the night, it said capacity.
Yes.
I was like, now you show that?
Yeah. So it's funny because every time Tom looked up the times, I'm like, it says what? And if you think about it, there's 11 rides and almost everything had like a 2-hour wait that day. Well, you got every ride. Yeah.
At one time, Bob, I think it was 4 rides go down at one time.
Mm-hmm.
And they were the big rides. They were delayed. I thought there was 4 of them that went down.
Right. But still, if you have every ride as a 2-hour wait, that's 22 hours. The park's only open 14 hours, Yeah. And so we were kind of like, this is crazy. So Tom and I waited in that line for about 2 hours before we finally got up to the person, the concierge. And we said, okay, so we just want to get express passes for the day. And we were willing to buy them. And he says, nope, can't do that. And we're like, what? He's like, the only thing that's going to happen today is you're going to get a return ticket to come back to Universal Epic Universe at a future date. And you come tomorrow, you come next week, whenever you want. I'm from California and I'm on vacation and I have no plans to come back to you at Epic Universe this week. And he goes, that's okay. The ticket's good forever. Okay, but what if I don't want to come back? I just want a Universal Express. I know you're giving them out. Nope, we're not giving those out. What do you mean you're not giving those out? The only thing we're doing is giving tickets to come back to the park. Okay, that is generous, but I was like, why? We're sold out of Universal Express. Actually, he didn't even say that. We had found that out from the manager.
Yeah,
the manager who's over here told me that they were doing Universal Express and refunds. And I know that other people had gotten park tickets because a couple people mentioned it as they were walking away. They just wanted to go to another park because they were so upset with how things were going at Epic Universe. Some people had been on no rides or one ride and had been there for 6 hours. And so that's why they were upset. And so he says, you can talk to another manager. So I talked to another manager and he goes, I'm not going to give you a $300, Universal Express for free. And I'm like, I'm not asking for free. I'll pay for it. And he goes, well, we're sold out. Okay, well, this is not a very good experience. I said, I'm trying to get through this day and I'm trying to get my family on all the rides. And I said, what am I supposed to do now? Because I've waited, over 2 hours just in this line with my friend here. And now you're telling me that we can't even get what we were looking for. I mean, we've wasted so much time and we'd only been on 2 rides, a show and lunch. That's it. And by the way, we were like less than 2 hours away from dinner by this time. And it's like, oh my goodness, this is just a horrible experience. And he's like, sorry, I'll tell you what, I will give you 3 single attraction passes. They call them SAPs. And you guys can take those and ride them on rides, and they're used just like Universal Express. Well, at least that'll kind of help you out getting on a few more rides. And we're like, all right, fine.
But for one big caveat, Bob, they weren't worth it on Battle of the Ministry.
Or Minecart Madness. We'd already been on Minecart Madness, well, I had with my family, but Battle Ministry is the one that we really, really wanted to go on. That and probably Monsters Unchained were my top 2 for the park that day. And so the fact that they were willing to give us the SAPs was nice, but here's the problem. When they gave Tom his SAPs, and by the way, it took 20 minutes just for this one guy to resolve Tom's ticket, and then took another 20 minutes to resolve my tickets with my family and I. And I'm like, oh my gosh, so now we've waited how long in
40
line?
minutes.
I mean, we're wasting so much time here. This is ridiculous. And so we got our SAP. Well, so when he tried to give me 2 SAPs, I said, the manager said he'd give us 3 SAPs, and you gave my buddy 2. And he's like, no, he didn't. And I'm like, yeah, bring the manager back. So I had to bring the manager back. He says, yeah, I told them 3 SAPs. And the guy's like, oh, sorry, let me get you some more. And I'm like, how long is that going to take? So he got us the 3 SAPs for all of us. And then we took off. We went to Stardust Racers, and Tom waited for us because he couldn't go on that ride. Stardust Racers was amazing. I'll tell you, the lands are amazing. Epic Universe looks beautiful. It looks amazing. It is amazing. Most of the rides are just incredible. But, it's the fact that everything kept breaking down, and the wait times were really long. And then after Stardust Racers, we know Darkmoor. And the one thing I noticed is that Celestial Park is very big. It's kind of the central hub for, all the portals. And Isle of Berk was pretty big, and so is the Harry Potter land. But when you go to the Super Nintendo World and Donkey Kong and to Darkmoor, they're kind of smaller. They're not as big at lands. And so I was a little disappointed to see that. The other thing is, and I don't know if you noticed this, Tom, because we didn't talk about it a whole lot, but did you see a whole lot of characters there?
I didn't notice a lot in Darkmoor that time. The preview when I went, there was more there. So I was kind of surprised, because usually you have the Invisible Man or even the violinist would come out on the porch, and I didn't, And Hope, it actually is Darkmoor. It's Dark Universe's Darkmoor is the town.
Yeah, the city or town's called Darkmoor, and Dark Universe is the actual, thing. But I was disappointed. We didn't see any characters. I never saw Donkey Kong come out. Never saw any characters in any of the worlds. We never saw any of the Vikings come around. We never saw.
No, we saw a couple of Vikings in the meat hall.
Well, meat hall, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. But that was inside the meat hall. But walking around the town, we didn't see anyone. So that was really disappointing. It's like, where are all the characters? Even when we went to a Harry Potter, by the time we got there, it was evening, nighttime. But we didn't really see anything there, and so that was disappointing. Unfortunately, we were going to have to use our SAPs, and obviously we wanted to show everyone the line queue for Monsters Unchained, and it was a 90-minute wait for the Curse of the Werewolf. So we decided, let's go to dinner, but we still had like 20 minutes to go to dinner since we didn't have enough time to ride the ride. So we went inside Helios, and we experienced the actual hotel, which was kind of nice inside. It didn't impress me. I thought it was nice, but it didn't impress me. The only thing that impressed me was, did you see that video screen they had by the elevators? That was beautiful. It was really cool. And it changed, while we were walking back and forth.
Impress me.
The what?
The dessert case did impress me.
Yeah, the staircase was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So then we went to the Blue Dragon, and it was amazing because they actually have lanterns in the sky that go up and down very slowly, and they have stars in the sky. Food was pretty good there. It's one of the couple places you can actually sit down and get food at a actual restaurant. The other one is the Atlantic, which we didn't get a chance to go into and see. And then we headed back to Darkmoor, where we proceeded to get in line for Monsters Unchained. And an hour into it, what happened, Tom?
It went boom.
Yeah, it broke down. So they announced to everyone the ride's broken down. They're not sure when it's going to open. Everyone's getting a little impatient. Well, by this time, half hour goes by and they announce rides back open, and everyone's like, "Yay!" And the music comes on, the lights are coming on, everything's working for the attraction, and we're probably a good a couple hundred feet from the getting onto the ride area, and all of a sudden, nothing happens. The line's not moving, nothing's going. We're like, "What's happening?" And 20 minutes later, they go, "Sorry, folks, the ride's down. We're not sure when it's going to be open again." And then we're like, "Oh, geez, no, we've been in line for an hour and 50 minutes. What? This is terrible." Long story short, about 10 minutes later, they get the ride open. But by the time we actually got onto the ride, rode it, and got off, it was just over 2.5 hours that we waited. So that was excruciating, painful. and my wife does not have patience. Neither does my daughter when it comes to rides. So they're like this. They're like, "Should have used that SAP." We're like, "Sorry, I wanted to show you the line queue. I guess that was a bad idea." So we use the SAP for the Curse of the Werewolf. It's a fun ride, but it's very short. And I will tell you that I was not very impressed by it because people were waiting 90 minutes in line for that ride, and it's not worth 90 minutes at all.
See, I was impressed with it. I like the way that ride is.
It's fun. It's just very short. I guess one of the things that got me is they have this. It's kind of like a shack, and that's kind of like a tunnel that you go through, and it goes back and forth a couple times before it launches you again a second time, which is kind of neat. But when you go through it, there's werewolves on both ends, and they kind of did the Yeti thing from Everest, where they put strobe lights on these stuffed animal werewolves. Yeah, they didn't look very good. I was like, it looked like you could have won that out of a carnival. What the heck, And so I was like, that's kind of crazy. But we got off that ride and we sprinted over to the Harry Potter land, which we wanted to get onto single rider. But they quickly just said, "Single rider's down. You can't go in. And if you don't have an express pass or you didn't get a pass to come back, you're not getting on the ride. And you can go inside, you can look around, but that's it." And we were just like, "Oh, geez." But Tom, you saw something else before we headed into that ride, and you were like, "That's closed all day?" Remember what it was?
Yep, Circus Arcanus.
So one of the other major shows at the park was closed down for the day. What?
And that's a really good show.
So you had all these rides and attractions that were down all day long. And yes, they were opening back up. Battle Ministry is the one that, broke down the most and hardly opened up, but it was a 4 to 5 hour wait, depending on, what time it was. And it just, a lot of people never really got to ride the attraction of the ride. So not only that, but I didn't get to experience a show with my family or Tom. It was just like, this is not the way to run a park. And it's brand new. It just opened. I was so disappointed because I had seen all these videos of the grand opening. Everything was great as far as they, had limited the people coming in. They were, getting people on rides. I was looking at the ride times days before we got there to the park, and things were like 10 to 15 minutes sometimes. Yeah, they got up to an hour and 90 minutes, but it was just blowing me away how, short the ride times were for many of the attractions. But I should have known. So I did have the opportunity to go to dinner with Tom and his wife, my family, and then we got to meet up with Nolan Thunder, who's also a streamer, and he's usually on T3PO and WDW Pro. He was there with his mom, and then we got to see Ron, Follow the Bradley's Fun, who also works with Pro, and he has his own show over at the Hard Rock Cafe. And I told him, I said, "Hey, I just noticed you can buy single day tickets for this coming week later in the week for Epic Universe. You weren't able to do that before. The only way you could get a ticket to go to Epic Universe was if you bought a ticket package of 2 to 3 days or more, and they allowed you to go to Epic Universe one day, and that was it." So apparently what happened is after the grand opening, Universal decided to open the floodgates and sell as many tickets as they wanted to the park. Now the park holds up to 6, well, not even a week.
Yeah.
You mean to go the week after?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So we literally were running into a time bomb because Universal, I hate to say it, but they did such a great job of, limiting people going to the park for the first few days. And then they opened the floodgates and it just, ruined, to me, everything I saw was posted was cool, but it's not truly what was happening or going to happen for us. And so for me, I love the park. I think it's beautiful. The rides and attractions I went on were mostly great. But to only go on not even, well, I think we went on 7 or 8 rides is what we ended up getting on out of the 11, which is not bad. But the only reason why we got on is because the SAPs. If we didn't have those SAPs, we wouldn't have gone on as many. And we were there for the full 14 hours that day.
And he had 3 extra SAPs.
Yeah. Yeah, you had them, and we actually didn't use them. Let's put it this way. After Harry Potter, we ran over to the carousel. It was a 35-minute wait. It was really long, and we wanted to see if we can get some of the stuff done over at Isle of Burke because we really didn't spend a lot of time there except for lunch and a show. So we went back, rode a couple rides over there, and then my wife, unfortunately, she wasn't feeling that good that day. Neither was my daughter. They were like pretty much ready to go home at that point. And my wife says, I know we didn't go on the carousel, and I really want to go on the carousel, but I'm done. Let's leave. It's been a horrible day. I just want to go. I'd never want to come back to this park. And I was like, never? She's like, never. I'm like, okay. So I was a little shocked by that, but Tom took us to the shop so we could buy a few things, and then I got out of there as soon as possible. But it was not the experience we thought we were going to have. And now Tom, you've been to the preview. What did you think of the preview compared to our day at Epic Universe?
The preview was good. Again, the only ride I didn't get to go on was the Battle Ministry. I knew that day going in it was down, so I knew that in the preview. I expected that. I wholeheartedly expected to get on it with you guys. It's a full day. It's a long day. The preview was from like 11 to 9, I think it was, or 11 to 8. I forgot what the hours were. So me and Linda went, and it was a lot to get crammed in. We didn't really get to see, we didn't go to Super Nintendo Land. We didn't do that day. We did the other lands, but we did have a good time there, except for that one thing. We did get to see Circus Arcanus. We went to the preview. We actually went with Lorena Creole, and that show was amazing. So I was hoping you got to see that. And I was disappointed that you didn't get to see that. But the one in Burke, they weren't running that show during the preview day that we went. So it was nice to see that.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they would have just rolled back their amount of people they let in and do it. And it seemed like they didn't have enough staff on hand to answer the calls for people complaining, nor get the rides back up and running. It's like they didn't have, hey, we have this one down. Okay, well, we have 4 down at one time. They didn't have the staff to handle it. It's like they couldn't get there.
Yeah, that's what was so disappointing. I was expecting a very different experience. And again, I love the land. I love the way it looks. Love the, most of the rides, but the whole experience was just not great. I mean, had we been able to get Universal Express passes or get on most of the rides, I think it would have been amazing. But to spend the whole entire day there and have to wait, and I understand we're at a theme park, we're gonna have to wait in lines. But Monsters Unchained, it's unfortunate it went down, but 2.5 hours in that line. An hour and 20 minutes for the Super Mario Kart when they should have opened up at 8. They didn't open up till 8:40. A lot of the rides were just completely broke down. And it was like, literally when Tom had said, oh, we got 4 rides down or whatever it was, I'm like, where were we going to go? Some of the things that I thought, well, we could do that. No, we did that already. We don't want to go over there. And so it was like, oh, well, I don't know what we're going to do now. Yeah. And not only that, but we wasted over 2 hours in line for just the concierge.
That's the line that I regret the most, is the customer service line. Mm-hmm. Because you weren't waiting in line for anything that you wanted to do. You're waiting in line to talk to a customer service rep because your rides are down.
That was Epic Universe calling you back, Tom.
That wasn't me. That wasn't my phone. I
you better answer his
number.
Well, Theme Park Casual or Cordy, do you guys have any questions about Epic Universe, or were you able to catch the stream?
I'll let you go first, Corey, if you like.
Yeah, no, I popped in a few times. I think when you were waiting in that one line you were talking, because it was like, is it back up? Is it not? Is it? But I mean, I just think it's just such a bummer that, you know, it wasn't the experience that we all expected for you too, you know? But yeah, I'm curious to see how it all kind of, you know, how it goes from here. Hopefully they learned and listened and.
Well, I hope so. I mean, we'll see. The one line I think you saw us in line for was Monsters Unchained. And I think the disappointing thing about that was not only did we wait in line and it took the whole process over 2.5 hours, but then I told Tom, and I'm not trying to do any spoilers here for you guys, but the story, they don't really tell you. Oh, we lost Corey. There she is. I don't know how we lost you. Oh, she's going to be right back. Okay, never mind. I'll bring her back on the stage. She's like, I'll be back. It's the fact that it's visually, it's a stunning ride and it's amazing. But the story, they don't really tell you the story until you get into the actual ride. And then Dr. Victoria Frankenstein starts explaining what they're doing and why, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But then at the very end, I told Tom, I said, this whole thing with Dracula at the end didn't make a lot of sense. He goes, oh, the special effect didn't work. I'm like, what do you mean the special effect didn't work?
Yeah, that one thing at the end didn't work.
And I'm like, oh, well, then maybe that would have explained why I didn't understand how it ended. Okay, great. And so that was a little disappointing too, because it's like the ride special effect, and I get it. Things break down on the rides all the time. Look at Tiana's.
When I went through on the preview, Bob, it was the effects were really mistimed. So I'm like, we got off the ride and the guy's like, hey, you want to ride again? We went through again and they were timed a little bit better. So me and Lorraine were both like, oh, okay. We get it.
Yeah, because I felt like it was a little off too. The other thing was, and I told this to Tom, is that when you saw the characters like Dracula, he looked really good because they do screens with the animatronics, and they do it pretty well. The only thing is the screen version of Dracula looked much younger than the animatronic one. And I'm like, what? Huh? Okay. That didn't make a whole lot of sense, but I guess he can change how his appearance is.
It's just the makeup. It's just the makeup they put on him for the filming.
Well, the makeup on the film, it's CGI, man, right? But
it's a vampire, man. At least he wasn't shiny.
You're kidding, right?
Sparkly.
I guess I needed a steak for that ride.
Well, here's one thing I want to say. It seemed like you guys hit Epic at like these weird. There was like a couple of days where it was just crazy, stupid busy. But I don't know if it was that it was busy or things went down and it made it feel busy. Because Ivan from Park Hoppin', the Valientes, he's keeping track and he was posting stuff and he was saying, he's like, oh my gosh, look at these lines for the food at I think it was at Isle of Burke or whatever, like one of the food things, and the lines were just like massively long lines. He's like, it wasn't like this just 2 days ago or whatever. And then everybody's posting the 305-minute wait for Ministry of Magic. And then 2 days later, Ministry of Magic was back down to 45-minute wait. You know, Monsters Unchained never got over, 45 minutes either, those kind of things. So I don't know if something just weird happened in those 2 days that caused a weird, issue like that. Like I said, I don't know if it was that rides were breaking down and that was the cause because you were saying that you had, you noticed at times there was 4 rides down, which in a park with not very many attractions, that could be detrimental. That pushes everybody, if they're down for a while, it pushes everybody into all these other places and makes all those other places feel busy. Plus the rides, that are now down and you're disappointed from that. So also, I'm just curious, what where is it that they're going wrong? What is the real issue? Because, and you can see Rogue Attraction is saying wait times are high today. So I'm curious what's.
Well, when Bob went in, he had an hour to go early, right? So let's say you get in the door, You get to the gate, you get to the portal. You had to, if you didn't have the early ticket, you couldn't get in the portal. You got to this ride. They didn't start that ride. So I brought up a fact that were they doing that to actually hold back some people time-wise from getting to other things because they knew things are coming? Or did they do it just because, oops, we forgot to start the ride? I'm going to lean on more on, oh, they did this as a time sink.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just mismanagement and dishonest.
Well, the other thing too was they did raise the capacity quite high, and that didn't help. I think it was a combination of we had a bunch of rides that went down, and you had too many people that were there because they sold too many tickets. Because to be honest with you, what it felt like was that it felt like Universal was getting greedy, and they're like, hey, let's just go ahead and open up the floodgates and sell a bunch of tickets and let everyone in, and it just ruined the experience for everyone. I was paying attention to Valiantes also while I was there because I was seeing his posts and I was like, oh, great. Okay, well, this is cool. And then when I got there and we had our experience, I'm like, wait, this is not the experience that he was showing us, and there was many people who I was following to see what was happening. And then it was funny because then he did post, oh, look at the lines, like you said, for Albert.
Right. That's what I was saying. It's like
crazy.
Your guys' experience that day was not an isolated thing. So it can't be that just, you guys just had bad luck. Everybody else was doing good that day. It was the park was flailing that day for whatever reason. And that's why, like I said, it just seemed, kind of odd that, just 2 days after you guys went, it started to level out again.
Well, I wonder if they were kind of learning from their mistakes and said, okay, well, we need to do this, this, and this. Right. But like Tom said, they didn't have enough employees. By the way, the employees don't know how to load the rides.
And I think Rogue Attraction has a good point right here that there was no slow ramp up. I'm surprised that they didn't do that. I'm surprised that they didn't, slowly ratchet up the crowds, or capacity, if you will, and just let it slowly build up and let everybody get their sea legs as the crowds start building and getting, more and more demanding on it, on all the different aspects of the park.
I mean, technically, when you guys showed up, Bob, that ride should have been running before the first person got there for the early hours.
Well, exactly. And
right, but again, that's one of those things where it's like, okay, was there, random breakdown issue? Something was not right on the attraction, and they just could not get it up fast enough, and that started the domino effect for the day. You know what I mean?
But it was Donkey Kong also. Donkey Kong, when I went to that line, Donkey Kong was actually, by the time I got to go into that portal, Bob, it was an hour after you. So I went to that portal. Remember, I went up, I said, where are you guys at? You said, you're still in line waiting for the ride to start. I went right over to Donkey Kong. So let me find my way there. I went there, wandered around there, and that ride just opened up then. That doesn't make sense.
Well, look, so Indiana Jones typically doesn't open until like about 9 in the morning. Jungle Cruise doesn't always open up till 9, in the morning sometimes. So I know that Disneyland staggers rides like that, and I get that. Disneyland has quite a few more rides than
but when you have 2 rides in a land, 3 rides in a land, that's open preview for an hour early.
Yeah, that's exactly. If you're doing an early admission for your hotel guests or whatever, you need to make sure your attractions are working.
Yeah.
You can't start the cycling when you're letting people in the gate.
And it should be that, okay, an hour before this goes, let's get cast members in there. Let's get them going. Let's get this ride going. Let's make sure it runs. Let's get people moving. You're paying that extra thing to get that privilege. You're staying on their site to get that extra privilege. And you wasted that hour for what? To be told, oh, it's going to open now within 15 minutes of the rest of the people getting into it.
Yeah.
Well, that was the other thing too. They wouldn't announce like when the rides went down. Sometimes they announced right away, and sometimes they didn't. They did announce right away, Battle Ministry is not working, everyone. It's not going to open at 9 a.m. Just want to let you know. And then they didn't say anything for literally 4 hours. And it's like, how do you make people wait in line and not say anything for 4 hours? The people who are behind us in Monsters Unchained, they had bought express passes, months ago. And so they got an express pass to come back to, Battle Ministry. But they were like, that's crazy. They didn't say anything for 4 hours. And we were getting impatient. Like, we need to leave because we're not going to experience everything in the park, even with the express passes that we have. And then they finally said, hey, we're kicking everyone out of line. Here's your Universal Express. Come back to this one ride, and we'll see you later.
Yeah, they got a black express to come back to that.
Yeah. So, I mean, and good for them. And hopefully they got on it. But that's just, to me, not the way to run the park.
I ran into them later after we left, after you guys headed out when I went back into Harry Potter Land to check on that wand. I was coming out, they were coming back in, and I asked them, hey, did you get that? They're like, yeah, we got the ride. It was cool. So
nice.
They seemed happy at that point.
The funny thing was we ran into that same couple over at Volcano Bay the next day.
Did you?
But we
cool.
we saw them from a distance. We were trying to say hi, but we didn't get their attention. So, but it was kind of funny running into them again. But yeah, it to me again, beautiful park, great idea. It's a little bit smaller than I thought it'd be. I actually thought the park was going to be a lot bigger, but they're going to be expanding it. And I think once they get the kinks, worked out of it, it'll be great. Now, in comparison, like Disneyland on the 17th, even though that was not the official date to the public, the 18th was, they had a lot of issues and problems. I remember, hearing all about that because I was not alive when that happened. So it's not like, this hasn't happened before.
Isles Adventure had it too. Had the problem 20-something years ago.
Yeah, I mean, every park is going to have that, but that's why I was saying that if they really wanted to, be the Disney killer, the one that, makes everybody take notice and start planning their vacations around their park rather than Disney World all of a sudden, they needed a flawless opening. And it seemed like it was going that way.
It was just for the first few days.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. It's like when they had, the influencers, and that's why I'm really surprised that they didn't slowly ratchet it up and, really let the, let people posting stuff like, like, where is everybody? This park is dead and whatever. It's like, you know what? If they were smart, they would have done that the whole time and just slowly brought it up, by just a couple of thousand people each week, even, and had it to where every single person that hits it that first, 2 months is just sitting there going home and telling everybody it was so great. It was so cool. So nice. We had such a great time because there was, no crowds. We didn't have to wait, in these, crazy, stupid long lines and all that. And they would have had, they would have solidified everything in the first 2 months. But yeah, it's corporations are going to corporation.
Right. Well, and I get it, and they're trying to make money. I just think, like you, if they just slowly ratchet up, it would have been so much better.
Well, you got to you have to think long term when it comes to a theme park like this,
right?
Because you've invested the money. These things are supposed to, you're building an attraction that's supposed to last 30 years minimum. That's what you're looking at when you build an attraction like Ministry of Magic or Monsters Unleashed or Unchained or whatever it is, and it's you have to look at the long term kind of thing and say, you know what, yes, it's going to be a little bit less than what we want right now, but come next year, next summer, we're going to be able to do gangbusters and everybody's going to be clamoring to get in.
Tell you through what? I'm going to go back in November and I'm going to try to get my live stream gear and I'm going to do it. I'm going to report back to you.
We will be watching.
Sounds good.
Maybe get Bob to fly out and join me.
Maybe. I don't know. My wife doesn't want her ticket. I may have a couple days worth, but it's interesting is that, and this happens. Unfortunately, look at Rise of the Resistance. When that one opened up, the cannons were one of the most amazing things on that ride, and almost immediately they shut down and they didn't work for years. Well, already that's happened to Battle Ministry. There's something that happens at the end of the ride. I'm not going to tell you what, even though I know what it is. And it's breaking the ride down and it's causing major havoc. So they've stopped that one thing from happening, which is a big bummer because it's a big, thing at the end that kind of gets everyone. And now it's stopped. And who knows when they're going to fix that or get that going. So they definitely have some things to work out. I really hope that they change the way that things were done for when I was there, because I really hate to hear stories about people having a bad experience at this new theme park. I want to hear, good things, and I was hoping to report good things, but my in the end, I was saying what Gladys is saying here is that Epic Universe was an epic fail for me and my family and for Tom that day, because I just felt like, even though we did get on, some rides and we got to experience all the different lands, kind of. I mean,
It was good parts. It was bad parts.
I don't see. Here's the thing. I'm just thinking about this.
I think it just was disappointing. There's a difference. It didn't fail. It disappointed me.
Yeah, but you've got the option to go back right away. You're close. You're close enough to where you could return. There's other people that it's like, this is my one shot at it, and that's how you kind of have to look at it. But here's my thing. I was just thinking about this because Paul puts. That they could do, coupons for 10% off food and merch that day.
Well, there's free water all over the park too.
Yeah,
they do have that.
Here's what I'd like to wonder why the parks aren't putting something like this into place. Here's what I would like to see. If I was in charge, if I was CEO, I would say, I want you guys to do something for me when we have these breakdowns. Since we have everybody's phone and a lot of them are using location and we can pinpoint who's where, find out who is in that line, even if you have to scan it, and half of them, give them a coupon for, a percentage off of the food or something like that. And then I want to see when they go to complain, scan that ticket and find out if it is somebody that got a coupon or somebody that did not get a coupon, to find out. If we give them a coupon, does that stop them from complaining? Do they need something like that? Does it take just a little nudge and suddenly the temperature is brought down for that person and it gives them a little bit of a better experience? Start trying these, because they've got the technology to be able to do that. And I don't understand why they don't do stuff like that. When the ride goes down, have it in the app that you can say, let me know when it goes back up. And you get a notification. Boom, it's back up.
Well, here's the other problem.
I don't understand why we're not putting the technology to use the way it should be, the way the guest would want it to be.
Backup.
What's that?
Right? It's just, I don't know if they want you to know it's backup. It's almost like when Rise goes down, when it's like the summer, when it goes down, they want people to if they're already doing something. We don't want them running over here, I don't know.
Right. Well, I think though the thing is so many people were having such a bad experience, and we're talking about Rise goes down all the time, and so does Indiana Jones. Look at that. After all these years, it still goes down quite a bit, but they do get it back open. I think that day, so many people were so upset and complaining that because it's a brand new park, they weren't having the experience they wanted. They'd only been on one, maybe two rides. For me, I was like, hey, I just want to buy Universal Express if I can do that. That'll help me get through this and whatnot. And not everyone in line. A lot of people were like, I just want a refund. I don't even want Universal Express, or I want to take it to another park. But the problem was the miscommunication. When management came out and said, hey, you can go call customer service and you can go to a restaurant, go cool off somewhere else. Don't stand in this long line. But not telling them they have to come back to this line to resolve their issue. That was an issue for me. And then the other thing was the fact that he said, oh yeah, well, it looks like most likely they're giving away, the refunds and the express passes. Great. And you get up there and like, oh no, we're not doing that. Wait, the other manager said we were. What are you talking about? I mean, Tom and I were dumbfounded. We were like, what? And so
I almost lost my cool there.
Yeah, I know. I almost
that was my breaking point. Yeah.
Well, because we stood there for so long in that line, 2 hours in line, and to hear, oh no, you can't do anything that the previous manager talked to you about. Well, how come you guys are on the same page and telling us what, we guys should be on the same page so that people in line know what to expect when they get up there. It would help out their customer service as well. But also not having enough employees, like Tom said. I think Tom hit the nail on the head. Not enough employees in the park, not enough for guest services, not enough maybe for maintenance or whatnot. it's really was a disappointing, and I'm glad that not everyone had the same experience as us, and that some people had some amazing experience, like our friend Nolan Thunder. He went opening day and had an amazing experience. I think so did George from Orange Grove 55 and Citrus Coast Central. He had a pretty good experience, and
You should have went Memorial Day.
Did. Yeah, you know what? I should have gone Memorial Day, or we should have tried to go sooner, like on Saturday or Sunday once we were there in Florida. But hey, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Ultimately, got to experience the park, not the way I wanted to, but at least I got to be there and experience it. And hey, I did get one really cool thing, and I'm gonna have to take my background off so that you guys can see this. Otherwise, you're not gonna be able to see it at all. And that is, I was able to get the opening day pin set that says grand opening May 22nd, 2025. And the reason why to me that was kind of special is that my mom, when she was alive, her birthday was on May 22nd, and I would have loved to have been there for the grand opening day, but unfortunately I couldn't because my daughter was graduating from school that day. But it was cool that I was able to get that, and they hadn't ran out of those yet. But I did want to get a bunch of other merchandise, and I wasn't able to really do that because by the end of the day, my wife was ready to leave. She was like, "Let's go now," and I'm like, "I gotta go to the store first because we haven't been to the store yet." One of the other places we haven't been to, and I actually they had a couple or a few different stores, and we only went to the one. But I grabbed what I could real quick, and thank you to Tom. He gave me his discount, so that was really nice. But yeah,
you got another present too, Bob.
Huh?
I gave you another present.
Gosh, no, wait.
Danny,
I don't think we're no.
Danny, do you have that?
No.
Oh, you know what? I didn't load it on.
Don't think we're talking about that, Tom. But I guess I'm gonna have to share it. I'm gonna have to. I don't. Hold on. Nope. I gotta upload it. So, should we talk about it or should we show the picture?
Show the picture.
If you've got the picture, show the picture because I was trying to find it real quick.
Hold on. Oh boy.
So I'll give a little backstory, everybody. We were at dinner, and I gave Bob I gave him a nice backpack, so he did get a nice gift. I gave Ariel some cool pins, but I figured I wanted to give something for him to wear, possibly at the Chalk Walk, to match his hat.
Hold on, I think I'm sending to myself right now. 1 second.
I'm trying to see if I got you.
Bob, hashtag for the kids. I mean,
yes,
whatever
yes,
it
I
is.
know. Oh, jeez. Maybe
GV559. It's not the glitter hat, but it's involved.
Hey, let me.
Let's just put it this way. What video?
I've got a video.
You have a video?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how'd you know? What?
Hang on, let me see.
This is the one that Linda took, huh?
Yep.
Mm.
Why isn't it letting me do it?
I don't think I want to be here for this.
It's not letting me do it.
Wait, what happened to my screen?
Bob, why are you
My
frozen,
screen?
Bob?
I don't know. Not sure why I'm frozen. Hold on. Well, that's weird. I don't know why, but for
He's
some reason,
sabotaging the video.
can you guys hear me?
We
Yes.
can hear you.
Yeah, okay. Let me leave the studio and I'll come right back. Hold on. Don't show that video yet.
Wait, is he going to come back in a glitter hat and the rest of the outfit?
Hang on. I'm having trouble because it's. I just downloaded it, but it's not.
I was cracking up. There you are, Bob.
Did you get the video?
No, I
Thank
don't
goodness.
have it. It's not in the right format. It's not
Oh,
hard to-
good. That's great.
Oh,
Hold on. I think I've got the. I thought I'd save this photo.
I was going to say, we got to see it. Just hold your phone up and show us the video on the screen.
I may have to.
Do I have
here. Hold on. Let me see. You should have it.
Well,
All right. I got
let's
it.
see.
Let me just get this over. Oops, wrong one. Yeah, I didn't think we were going to have to talk about this tonight. I really didn't.
Yes, Paul.
All right, here it comes.
Unless he's got it. Otherwise, we want the phone.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
There we go. I got the picture. Let me download it to my computer so I can not show it to you guys.
Just remember, Bob, I love you, man.
Yeah. I will say this was a nice, funny joke. I hope it was a joke.
Yeah.
All right, here we
It's
go.
in the mail.
So we go to. You want to preference how this came to be because we went to dinner.
Okay, we went to dinner at Hard Rock. We're meeting everybody, and I said, okay, I told him a while ago I got a backpack for him. So I put the present in the backpack, and I had 2 pins to give to Ariel. So I handed it to him. I said, hey, you might want to open the bag and check for a present. And then Linda started filming.
And this is what I got, everyone. It's a glitter shirt. It's a black see-through glitter
Oh,
shirt.
come on, you got to upload a video, Bob.
Perfect.
Well, I'm not playing the video. I don't think I have the video. I don't think you sent it to me. Look at that. I was like, what the heck?
That's going to go so good with the hat.
And then he's like, put it on. I'm like, I'm not putting this thing on. You're kidding? This thing is see-through. No way. So no, Adios, amigos. There we go. Yeah, glitter. Oh, no. Oh, you're showing the video. Oh, good thing you can't see my face. Look at that thing. It's see-through. I mean, it's something I might have worn back in the day, for Depeche Mode concert, but nope.
Do tell, Bob.
See, everyone's laughing. Except for me.
Considering how glittery it is, it's awfully sheer.
Yeah, see through it is?
It is. Yeah, it's sheer. You know what I said? I said, oh, is this like the cloak from Harry Potter? And then I realized it was a glitter shirt.
Yeah, he thought he was like, is that the thing from Harry Potter? I'm like, nope.
No. And then the whole thing is Linda, his wife, is across the table just doing this. Videotaping the whole thing. I was like, oh boy. Layer it with a nice black tank top.
I said you could put the Park Streamer shirt underneath it.
No. I think Bob prefers the chaps over the glitter. No. Okay, we're going to delete that comment there, Road Commish. Yeah, layer it with the tank top.
A half tank.
Well, at least someone's getting a laugh out of that. Hopefully all of
Do you have the backpack, Bob? Can you show the backpack?
I don't have the backpack with me. Sorry. It's in the garage because I'm actually was cleaning it up and it's drying out there. So.
What do you mean drying out?
I cleaned it. I cleaned it all up and so I could take it to the park.
Okay, it was dirty?
Well, I packed it with my dirty clothes in my backpack, my suitcase.
Okay. Now I understand.
Because I had to pack. And then what's crazy is like I threw that backpack in there and I put my bag just over the 50 pounds. I'm like, what? Of course, I had added a couple other things too, but I was like, dang it. I barely made it. That's to wear with that great guitar. Well, if I won the guitar, yeah. No, actually.
He made me send the shirt back, guys. It's going back.
Going back to Amazon.
It might be in the mail back to Bob. He didn't say where I had to send it.
Only this time it'll have the matching pants.
I looked for those.
So here, you know what? I don't know if I can. So here's something funny. It's because this whole time Ariel's like, what's the big deal about this whole glitter thing? Because I really haven't told Ariel or Maria what was going on with the whole glitter hat. And then Maria's like, you bought the glitter hat? I'm like, kind of had to. They bought it for us so we could, I could wear it. And she's like, and you're going to wear it? I mean, she was like kind of offended, like, you are not going to wear that, the chalk walk. I'm like, well, it's for the kids. And she's like, really? I'm like, yeah, I'm doing it for the kids. Okay. Yeah. I'm not. And so Ariel's like, I don't know what you're so worried about this whole glitter thing with or about. And I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, you do have a glitter sweatshirt. And I go, what? What are you talking about? I had bought the 60th anniversary SeaWorld sweatshirt last year, and it does have like glitter on the outside to simulate like the ocean.
Somehow there's glitter all over Bob's shirt.
Right. So she goes, you have that sweatshirt. What's the big deal? And I'm like, oh gosh, you're right. I didn't even think about that. So I do have one glitter thing that I actually own. Whoops, I can't believe I forgot Park Streamers with Tom F is on. No worries, Izzo. It's good. It's our good friend Izzo. And by the way, our good friend Izzo, if you guys haven't checked out his channel, definitely check out his channel. Who else was here that has a channel that we were saying hi to? I forget.
We've got a few people that have channels.
I have one.
Road of Command.
Oh yeah, this guy, Tom F.
We got Rogue Attraction.
Rogue Attraction, right?
Yeah, Road of Command. Mattercam Matt. Sort of.
Mattercam Matt. Yeah, kind of.
But lots of people are active on Instagram too.
So Bob, if you win the guitar,
Spaceship Ears,
you get the guitar. It's glittery.
Yeah, well, I'm not winning the guitar because I'm not entering myself into the guitar to win. However, my dad, he donated a lot of money, so he could possibly win it. And if he does, I'm just going to take it. I'm going to break it up. Just kidding.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right. That guitar is too amazing and nice. But I tell you, I would take a picture with the glitter hat and the guitar if my dad won the guitar.
And platform.
GV549 said, did the facial recognition scan everyone's sad faces? So they said, hey, smile. Oh, you're not smiling. They try to get you to smile to take the picture. I saw some people that were just like, they took the picture.
Look,
now.
I put these on. I have a hat on. And the facial recognition does not work.
No, you have to take your sunglasses off. It does work with your hat, though. I did try that. So, but here's the cool thing about the facial recognition is that, like I said, if you went to Islands of Adventure, Universal Studios, Florida, Volcano Bay, or you went to Epic Universe, they all use the same facial recognition. And when you go to the lockers, they actually use your facial recognition at the lockers at Epic Universe. So if you have to get a locker, it uses your face for it, and then that's how you do it. Where the other parks just use your ticket, your theme park ticket, to open up a locker. So, oh, we have a new member, Jason Thibodeau. Did we get a gifted membership, or did he join?
He joined.
I think he joined. So Jason Thibodeau, thank you so much. And by the way, I want to say thank you, Jason. He typically chimes into all of our streams, and it's always a pleasure having you. So thank you for becoming a member. We should probably do some confetti in the background here.
Yeah, we threw a bunch of flags in the chat.
Very nice. I'll keep that up for just a bit. Okay. Well, let's see. Well, we'll get back to questions from all of you in the chat a little bit later. But Danny, Courtney, did you have any other questions for Tom or I?
I don't think so, because my questions would be more about the attractions, but I don't want spoilers. In fact, when you went to the Untrainable Dragon show, I was like, all right, I got to dip because I've already seen, the flying dragon, but I don't want all the other spoilers and everything from the show. So,
yeah, you know what? I was wondering how that show was going to be, because it's all about this untrainable dragon, and I was like, well, it can't be a very long show, so it's got to be a pretty simple story. And it was a pretty simple story. I liked how they did it. I really liked, the music. I love the actors, and the life-size like puppets or dragons on stage were just simply amazing. Everything about that show was high production value, and I was very, very happy about that show. To be honest with you, everything leading up to us having lunch was mostly pretty good. Even though we couldn't get onto Super Mario Kart, right away, and they opened up 40 minutes after they were supposed to. Everything up to that point was pretty good. But once we stood in line for the guest services, and from then on out, it was kind of just a hodgepodge day of disappointments and not being able to do what I think we wanted to do and or to accomplish what we wanted to do. Now the thing is, I'll be back there eventually, and I'm sure I get to experience those things. It was just not the experience I wanted that day, so I was disappointed about that. But again, the fact that I got on some pretty amazing rides and the park was pretty amazing, and I think Universal, once they work out some of these kinks and bumps, it should be pretty amazing as well, just like their other parks. But I will say they definitely went from having really good fan service in the beginning for the first few days to disappointing a lot of people over the next several days, and hopefully that changes and they don't have those same issues. So
all right,
I just want to say it was fun to hang out with you, Bob, and your family.
No,
it
thank
was
you.
great. I wouldn't trade that for anything. That means the perfect day in my book, hanging out with your friends. So
thank you.
I invaded your stream on the parade day too, so that was fun.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So Tom and his wife met up with us at Universal Orlando, and we did the mega movie parade. And the crazy thing, which is really cool, is that I hit the 9,000 subs, during that stream. So that was really cool. Although it would have been epic if I did it at Epic Universe, but Tom was there with his wife, and it was pretty cool. And I got to tell you, that parade, if you guys haven't seen it, go back and check my live stream. It was a really fun parade, and to me, it was high production value. The only thing was weird, and I told this to Tom. I didn't understand it, but after every parade section, so as soon as you see Back to the Future and it was done and it's passing you, you'd hear the Universal music, dun, 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 dun. And I'm like, why is it playing like that? And it play after every single float that went by you, and you're like, okay, I'm done with that song. And they could have just done without having the Universal song after every single float. I got why they were doing it. But I will tell you, since Danny and Cordy, you stream at other parks as well, I had revenue sharing the whole entire time I was there at the different Universal parks. The only place I didn't get revenue sharing was when I did my second stream at Walt Disney World and going to the 3 parks, and then I had copyright issues, but not one. It was always revenue sharing, or I got the full monetization, and I was like, wow, no copyright issues. I don't have to try to do anything. That I need to come back to Universal more often. The problem is you can't get on a lot of rides or attractions. I think that's why you don't get as many, copyright issues. And that's a bummer thing for those that came and watched the stream at Epic Universe. Thank you so much for hanging in there, because we couldn't take you on a lot of the rides or attractions. Like most of them, we couldn't, but you guys still stayed with us.
I'm sorry for doing his backup cam going.
Oh, no worries. You're doing great. But we did get to go to this place right here, Volcano Bay, and actually go down the lazy river and the rapids and the coaster, and that was a lot of fun. So thanks for hanging out with me in Orlando. I hope you guys had a blast like I did. So, all right. Well, I think we should probably get on to our next topic and subject, which I know Hope is dying for us to cover. And that, everyone, would be Disney's Starlight. So let's go ahead and bring that up real quick and talk about that. So Disney announced that they have a brand new nighttime parade that's coming to Walt Disney World called Disney Starlight. And they made some big announcements last week regarding this. The major one was the last float that they're going to have in the parade. Now, the cool thing about this is that it's been a long time since they've had a nighttime parade, kind of like Disneyland, and it's actually coming July 20th. So that's going to be really, really cool. This is the poster right here for Disney Starlight. So you can see it's going to have Peter Pan, and it's going to have the fairy from Pinocchio. It's got Coco involved, Cinderella, Frozen, and its tagline is "Dream the Night Away." So you're going to have all sorts of merchandise they're selling, which they're showing here as well. But the floats look really, really cool. In fact, this is one of the floats right here that they're showing. And there's a little video. So that looks pretty good. The music sounds great, and I'm assuming that is the music from the actual parade. But it's going to have this amazing float. This is the float at the very, very end of the parade, and it's going to have Goofy in the train with Pluto, and of course Donald and Daisy. You've got Dopey with Snow White. It looks like you've got the characters from Enchanted. And it looks like is that Tiana? I can't tell. Or is that Aladdin? I can't tell.
That's Rapunzel and Flynn Rider.
Yeah, and then Aladdin and Jasmine. And then Mickey and Minnie. So that's the float that they're going to have at the very end of Disney Starlight, which I think is going to be pretty cool and amazing. So it's got swirling ribbons of Starlight, reveal Goofy, Pluto, Donald, Duck, and Daisy. Leading the procession of Disney moments that include Snow White, Dopey, and a twinkling mine car, Rapunzel and Flynn Rider floating toward a gleaming lantern on their boat, and Aladdin and Jasmine taking a magic carpet ride, and then closing out the celebration of the original Dreamers. Ooh, original Dreamers. There you go, Cordy. Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse draped in sparkling new looks. Together, the duo sets off, reminding us to believe in the power of wishing upon a star. Which of the finale friends are you most excited to see? Well, I would always love to see Mickey and Minnie, but look at that. Look at their outfits. Looking sharp there. I like it.
I like the blue.
I do too.
Kind of matches the guitar you guys haven't done.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe they should have one to go with it. Of course, what Disney music are we going to hear? Let's see. It says they have an original theme written specifically for Disney Starlight that embodies all the majestic and fantasy feelings you get watching a parade come down Main Street, USA, with Cinderella Castle in the background. For Disney fans, this new theme may have some surprises that sound familiar, so be sure to listen closely for some of Disney Park's favorite woven into the score. So, and I'm hoping that'll happen, kind of like they did with Paint the Night, where they incorporate the Main Street Electrical Parade into it, and as well as some other songs. So that's kind of cool. Are you guys looking forward to seeing this parade? I mean, I don't know if any of you are planning going to Walt Disney World anytime soon, but
no.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to seeing footage of it.
Well,
I'm hoping it's another,
somebody
worthy
could twist my
addition.
arm and I get a free ticket, maybe. I'm close enough.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, it does look spectacular. I'm really hoping it turns out to be as magical as what we're seeing in these concept arts, although, that has not always been the case lately. Yeah, the Coco one looks pretty cool, pretty amazing. Yeah. But I will say that, they've done a great job, especially with Paint the Night. I can only imagine this one's going to be, just as magical. But the characters you'll get to see are the Blue Fairy, Peter Pan and Wendy, Asha, the family Madrigal with Maribel, Isabel, and Bruno. You'll see Elsa. What? No Anna? What's going on there? Aurora and Prince Philip, Tiana and Prince Naveen, Belle and the Beast, and Cinderella and Prince Charming, Miguel and Pepita. You've got Moana, and then, of course, Goofy, Pluto, Donald, Daisy, Snow White, Dopey, Rapunzel, Flynn, Aladdin, Jasmine, Mickey, and Minnie, and it's all coming on July 20th, so that's pretty awesome. So I know Hope is actually going there, to Hope who's in the chat, for a trip to Walt Disney World, and I hope you have an amazing time. I think it's going to be really, really cool.
Yeah, I think it looks like it'll be a nice parade. I hope everything, comes together nicely. Linnea, I'm pretty sure they're going to weave in somehow the Baroque hoedown from Electrical Parade. That seems
I hope so too.
Kind of their thing right now.
Yeah,
every nighttime parade at Disneyland has had that woven into it somehow. So,
Let's see here. Oh, there's Spaceship Ears. Yep, he has a show too, by the way, Grand and Miraculous. So definitely check it out. He's going to be covering. Oh, what is he covering this week? He told me, and I can't remember it now. It's a good ride. You're going to love it. Check it out on Tuesday night. But
why can't I remember? I should know what it is.
I know. You just told me what it was too. Hold on. Now I'm
Great
like,
movie ride. That's right. Great movie ride.
Oh, great movie ride. There we go. Yeah. Yes, that's going to be a good one to cover. I mean, if you guys haven't seen it, you guys definitely have to go check it out. Yep, let's see. There he is. Great movie ride tomorrow. All right, very cool. Well, let's go ahead. I know Cordy wants to talk about something cool because she loves. We all love the food, but Cordy loves the food and talking about it. And so I think we're gonna switch over to that real quick. Let me bring this up so we can share the screens because there's a couple of updates that we need to go over. And oh, what happened to it? There it is. Nope, it disappeared. Well, hold on. That's not it. Nope, that's not it. Where'd it go? Hold on one second. I have too many screens open at the moment. I think I've got like 40 screens open. So there we go. Perfect. So first of all, 13 banana bites to celebrate Savannah Bananas at Disneyland. So if you guys didn't get to see it last week, the Savannah Bananas baseball team were at Disneyland, and they have 13 banana bites to celebrate the Savannah Bananas at Disneyland. And by the way, I don't know if you've seen this, but if you go to the Disney blog and you see the alien invasion for Stitch, if you click on that, it tells you you've got a 626 error, which EXP626, you'll probably love that in the chat. And then there's glitches. Stitch does glitches throughout the channel here as you go through it. If you do that version, but we're going to go back to the regular version.
Did it automatically change it to dark mode?
It does. It changes to dark mode, and then sometimes he'll just pop out, and there'll be a big face of him on the screen, like there's a glitch. It's hilarious. It's awesome. So I did want to point that out. If you guys do click on the Alien Invasion, he will wreak havoc on your website there or Disney's website. So Cordy, are you excited about some of these new banana bites that are coming out?
I tried to get the banana split, but Sweeper Train was really late one night because that's actually at Gibson Girl.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
The train was so late, huh?
It was, oh my gosh. I had to cancel because it was 12. We didn't get back till almost 12:40 the night I wanted to get it, or I ordered it.
Oof.
So they were already closed. But so I haven't tried that, but I have to say, TPC, you were on point with that banoffee cold brew. That's amazing.
The banana foam cold brew. Let's just call it the banana foam cold brew because banoffee does not tell you.
Banana toffee.
They have a banana cold brew? Really?
It's a cold brew with banana foam. Yes.
Well, there's the banana split that you're talking about.
I've had it twice. It's so good that I've actually, and you guys know I don't go for like the frou-frou drinks, but the banana mixed with the coffee, it's so perfect.
Is it
so
smooth
good.
or is it like jarring?
It's this one, right?
Oh, it's very smooth. Very smooth.
Okay.
Well, I like banana flavor. So for me, it's like as long as if it's got a good banana flavor, I'm good with it. But I don't think it was like anything that somebody would be like, okay, wow, I'm not a monkey. Just put that away.
That looks like a butterbeer.
Strawberry one. The strawberry one was a little bit artificial.
Right.
But the banana one I thought was, and the coffee's really good.
Yeah, It, like I said, I've purchased it twice, which is something I don't do when it comes to those kind of things. But it was so good. In fact, I will possibly get it again.
Wow.
It's really good. It's
having a casual. He's over there getting the banoffee coffee.
So they have it at Joffrey's.
Banana foam cold brew. Stop calling it banoffee. That just sounds like you're having a stroke or something.
Banoffee sounds like a luxury car. The banoffee.
I've got the banoffee. Maybe that's how you pronounce it. Maybe that's what's wrong. Banoffee sounds wrong, but banoffee.
So if I go into Starbucks, guys, and I ask for banoffee, I'm going to get looked at really funny.
They're going to probably punch you and then call the police.
You have to say bon appetit.
Yeah, this is only at Joffrey's.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
no.
true. Yeah.
I'll have to go to the Joffreys in Disney Springs and see if they go, this is not California.
Yeah.
Although
Well, let's
Starbucks
go
does
back.
have a cherry cold foam, which is very good. Which you can-
Although, Tom,
I've had
if you wear the glitter shirt, they may be like, right this way, sir.
Yeah. See?
You know, if I didn't send it back, I might have to do that and say, hi, my name's Bob.
Okay, can we
looks
talk about
delicious.
banana stuff? Yes, the brown butter banana upside down cake actually looks good, I think.
I'm hoping it'll be there. We're planning to go in July. I guess it was like pretty booked up. I mean, we could probably find one, something might pop up between now and then, but
Well, if you get lucky, you can do a walk-in just like Theme Park Casual did.
I was just going to say, you mean I missed that?
oh, we were doing the what's that? There's like a prefix, like there's a special meal that we were gonna do. But yeah, I was just gonna say you just went.
Yeah. And that's probably going to be the only time I go for the next, probably 10 years.
Stop it.
Really?
You know
It's
what?
been,
though?
that was the first time I'd been since Casual Junior was like 6 or 7.
But see, we
Damn,
always
dude.
think we have to go there and like eat a meal. You don't have to go eat a meal. You could go and have
That's true. That's true.
Dessert?
banana upside
And
down.
unlimited mint juleps.
There you
yeah.
go. Yeah, right? That's kind of worth it right there, actually.
Well, and then we
okay,
blew it because me and Casual Junior both ordered mint julep. And then it was like, wait a minute, they're unlimited. It could have been you order the mint julep, I get a coffee, and then I get mint julep and coffee.
Gotta work.
See, I don't
We
think
blew
those
it.
two mix well. Then even have a stomach ache later going, oh, I should have drank all that
Well
coffee.
said.
and
Do you
mint
get
julep."
Nafi to go with your bow?
Thank you, Tom. All right. So, by the way, that is a lush cake that is soaked in bananas, Foster sauce, and garnished
That
with
sounds
candied
so good.
walnuts
I
and
know,
vanilla ice cream. That
geez.
sounds amazing. I'm not a walnut person, but candied walnuts, that sounds.
Oh
it's
yeah,
pretty good.
that sounds amazing.
Here's the banana split that Cordy was going to try to get.
That's my favorite. Like if I could only order one type of like hot fudge sundaes, like neck and neck, but I've always loved the splits.
Good call. Good call.
I almost got that I almost got the banana split the other day, but then I was like, nah.
You had to split.
Yeah. I went
You went,
classic.
no, 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 no. Wait, anybody know that?
Wait, what?
One banana, 2 banana, 3 banana, 4. No, the banana splits.
keep
no
going.
one.
Yeah.
Crickets.
I vaguely remember the banana splits, but I just
don't
remember what they look like. I don't remember the songs.
Okay, now here's something I think is kind of corny. They already have the banana pudding, and
Yes.
it's already amazing at the Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree. Why are we putting banana candies, hard candies, on top?
I know.
The toffee is
doesn't go.
perfect.
It's to
I
keep
think-
this in business.
I think it's they're like, oh well, we got to add something to it because we already had this there. I don't know. I don't think they need to add
Yeah,
that. Plus,
that's funny.
Those candies are not the kind of thing you
Ooh,
want
that
to
looks
have.
good.
You're not going to chomp on the candies when you're having a banana pudding.
no, not those ones. Hey, here's your banoffee tarts.
Bon enfant.
Bon appetit.
Bon enfant. You got to say it without
Bon
opening your
enfant.
teeth.
Yes.
Not gonna lie, that looks good.
This is a graham tart shell filled with a layer of dulce de leche, banana, diplomat cream, and fresh bananas topped with vanilla bean, chantilly, and toffee bits. Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah,
That
sounds
actually
good.
does sound good. It's probably only about like this big.
Oh yeah, those things are tiny. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's in fact that's why I normally whenever I can get creme brulee, I'll get creme brulee. But at Blue Bayou, I knew that it's just the little tart thing, and it's like it's not a real
Yeah.
creme brulee. And so I told Mrs. Casual and Casual Turn, I said, "Don't let me order the creme brulee. I may think about it, but just tell me no, you don't want the creme brulee." And that's
Okay.
probably the same size. It's probably like
Yeah, and this has been around, so they're using it as part of the.
Right.
oh, this one's been around too. Okay.
Yeah. So that's my thing is that they're not doing a whole heck of a lot there. If he already had it around, like the toffee over here, it's
Well, I'm sure the
100 bucks
Savannah
per
Bananas thing has been in in the works for quite some time. If it was at Angel Stadium, that's got to be, probably almost a year out from that schedule. True. So maybe they kind of had an idea. So let's get some banana stuff, and use it and whatever, and then just add a couple of things after that.
Okay, so here's the other thing, right? You got your banana dip,
like bucket of mustard.
Galley.
I know. I was thinking the same thing.
It looks like a bucket of mustard, but it's got those hard candies in it. I don't want the hard candies to dip in my nice warm. It's a whipped banana dip at Harbor Galley. It's a sweet addition to one of my personal favorites. But it doesn't really say. It just, I don't know. We'll see.
Especially with chocolate chip cookies. Yeah, and unpopular opinion, I'm not a fan of those cookies either.
What? You don't like the chocolate chip cookies at Harbor Galley?
I'm with you.
I'm sorry. Do I know you? Oh, what?
Are
you serious?
I'd rather get something else.
Those hard candies are throwing me off appetizement.
Okay.
It just like.
Wait. First of all, those cookies are good. We've had those cookies. I get your point.
The cookies are fine. I mean, it's not that they're bad cookies. It's just for the price. I would rather go get something else that I can't have, anywhere else. Because they to me, it's like they're break and bake cookies that they,
Mrs. Fields.
Yeah, they're just little things that you could go to the grocery store for $2.50, buy a little package, throw them in the oven, undercook them, and get the same thing at home.
Okay, great. All right. Well, let's go.
I can't go get the strawberry marshmallow wand anywhere.
True. Or tiger tail. You have to get that.
Right. Those are the kind of things that I'm going to go for.
I'm with you. Okay.
Do you remember the old saying, "Don't eat the yellow snow"? That's what I think of.
Yeah. Oh no, it's
the candy stuff.
Banana. So banana snowball is the next one. It's a Royal Street Veranda.
I like that they have those snow cones.
Banana.
I was going to say this is one that I want to try now. I'll tell them no banana candies on it, please. But yeah, I love snow cone and banana flavor. Mm-hmm. That reminds me of when I went to Hawaii when I was a kid, because I got the banana flavor in the shaved ice.
Yeah, that's good. I like they added that.
Wait, so you're going to be there on Thursday, Danny? I'm going to be there on Thursday. Cordy, are you going to be there?
I don't think there's any reservations.
No, there are no reservations because I wanted to make one for my dad today and I couldn't.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if you get one,
Mrs. Casual Jr. just made reservations for Thursday, so
they did.
Literally, like
better check off.
Oh, get out of here! Seriously?
Hold, please.
Mm-hmm.
But I love
please. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Royal Street Veranda. I hope they keep them. I mean, I guess they're here for the summer, but I hope I don't miss it completely.
All right. Sorry, I have to look if they were open an hour ago. Maybe they're still open. Oh, Thursday's open.
Okay.
So Cordy, go get it. All right.
Why don't you shut up, Bob?
Sorry.
Oh, see, now it's not there. You took the last.
Hey, Bob, I forgot to ask you.
No, I just made it. It's still there. What? What's up, Tom?
Did you guys have those butterbeer caramels?
Oh, we did. So Tom had taken us to the candy store there at Epic Universe in the Harry Potter land. And I got to tell you, the truffles they had, they didn't look like truffles. They looked like these amazing, delectable things you didn't want to eat because they look so cool. But he said, hey, I'm going to get some butterbeer caramels. I'm like, they have butterbeer caramels? I want to get those. So I actually treated Tom and our family to getting some caramels, and we didn't eat. You're welcome. And we didn't eat ours until we got back to the hotel, I think a day or two later. But I will tell you, it smelled like butterbeer. It was probably a caramel piece about maybe this long, and it's probably about this thick. And it had white chocolate on the outside, and then it had like a nice chocolate label that said butterbeer on it. That had been printed on it, which is really cool. And again, it smelled like butterbeer, but when I went to eat it, it tasted like a caramel. So I was a little disappointed about that. It was good tasting, but it was not butterbeer tasting.
I had butterbeer goldfish.
Yes, I have them. Those are awesome.
Those are good.
Really? Where do they sell those?
You have to ask Slim Devin.
I want to try the ice lolly.
Target has them.
Lolly, lolly, lolly.
Oh,
Okay.
And the ice lolly, I haven't tried that yet.
Daddy's cracking me up.
Yeah, the ice lolly is the one that I want to try because I tried the soft serve swirl, but it's just like a little strip of the butterbeer flavor. It's not a true, half and half type of swirl. Yeah. So I was a little disappointed with that. But the ice lolly, that one sounds so good.
Cool. All right, well, let's get back to our Menofee stuff.
Sorry, my whole house is shaking. There was a launch just now. Sorry.
Oh, nice.
I wanted to film it. I totally forgot.
Tom's in the backyard. Or he's got the rocket ships in his backyard there.
Yeah.
So we also have the banana split churro. Are you guys going to try this?
I would like to try that. That looks pretty good. If they make it like that, yes.
That looks really good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'd share it if somebody else got it. I want to get it myself.
Thursday, if I can get a reservation.
Yeah. Oh. Well, I don't know. Did you get a reservation, Cordy, or did you try?
Not yet.
Oh, okay, whatever.
The
Oswald Sundae, which I think is kind of funny because it's got the ears like Oswald, but it's a banana, obviously. Yeah. This is includes scoops of vanilla and chocolate ice cream served in a waffle cup, topped with whipped cream, hot fudge, chocolate morsels, cherries, and a chocolate dip frozen banana. Wow. If you ask me, it's too appealing, it says.
The only thing missing was the marshmallow topping. The s'mores banana split, man. I got that thing probably 4 or 5 times.
That was delicious. Yeah.
That thing was good.
Wow. We also have the banana cone nanza churro. Am I saying that right?
What does that have?
Nanza? It's a classic churro topped with banana cream and crust dust.
I don't know. I would probably pass because there's too many to try.
See, to me, this actually, I don't know.
I'd go for this one before the other one.
Yeah, before the banana split one. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, because it's simpler.
Strawberry banana sensation. You said you tried this, right, Cordy?
I like complicated desserts. I like my desserts very intricate.
Yes.
It's not complicated. I'm not eating it.
I have not tried this. But
if your dessert doesn't come with a user manual, send it back.
Wow. But you can get this one at Smoothies, and by the way, there's an alcoholic option.
Didn't it?
Yeah, it did. There's an alcoholic option available for this strawberry banana sensation, and it has strawberry banana with strawberries, banana, and low-fat yogurt blended with strawberry pineapple juice, and some might even call it sensational. Ooh. And then you just get plain bananas.
You could.
Or you could just buy a banana.
You just go buy it. It's funny.
How much is this banana?
I was going to say it's $4.95 for a single
banana.
That
banana in the window? Hey, there's fruit carts all over the place. Or you can get your frozen banana at select outdoor vending locations.
I have never liked the frozen banana things.
See, I'm okay with it. I just don't like nuts on
my family when I was little. My older brother, my mom, they loved getting the frozen bananas, and I was just like, I don't like these things.
My mom always got one too. Every time we went there, that was the treat that she looked forward to. But we used to make them at home. We made our own chocolate covered bananas. So I'm like, why are you getting that at Disneyland? But they did. Remember the first? Maybe it was the second summer they opened back up. They were doing the frozen bananas, but they were fresh over at Clarabelle's, and they had a few different choices. That was really good because they weren't super frozen. They were like freshly made and then frozen there. So they weren't as, rock
We have a store in Cocoa that has frozen bananas that does that. And they do key lime on a stick.
Ooh.
I go with the key lime on a stick.
I would do the key lime on a stick.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Yeah. I'm not a key
I'd do
lime
key lime with just about anything.
Yeah.
Well, I just learned a lot about you, Casual. Just kidding. Casual doesn't like frozen bananas. He doesn't like tomatoes. He doesn't like seeds. What else don't you like?
He'll wear a glitter shirt without a problem.
Yeah.
You will.
Yeah, whatever.
I will.
Good. And you can give him that glitter shirt. And here's the funny thing. So Tom tells me, yeah, Danny knew about this. I'm like, what? And then I text Danny. I'm like, you knew about this? And he's like,
Danny, do I dare show what the other shirt option would be?
Sure.
I don't think I ever showed you, Bob.
no, you didn't. I'm a little afraid to see.
Let's see if I can find it.
A frozen tomato on a stick. You know.
Oh, that I draw the line at that one. My friend. Oh, so what did you say? Brian says, my friend used to sell frozen bananas on a stick to the zoo. Okay. No, so GDV55, no frozen tomato on a stick. Can't you see? Oh my god! What the
Gordy,
heck?
I
Is
think they would
that?
have looked fabulous on him.
Like a cow neck on that thing? What the heck?
Yeah, it's
man?
nice and drapey.
I like the deep scoop.
Very shimmery, Bob.
See, that's where I draw the line. No.
That's where you draw the line.
Sure it is.
Oh, so Spaceship Ears did bring this up. This is the last hangout before the Muppet Vision closes, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to go, by the way, while I was in Walt Disney World, and my daughter had never been to Animal Kingdom, and so I told her, look, I want to go to Animal Kingdom, I want to go to Hollywood Studios just to see the Muppet Vision 3D for the last time, and then Belle, go to Epcot, do a couple things there, and then head over to Walt Disney World. Well, everything got we were about 3 hours behind over at Animal Kingdom. So I said, Ariel, I'm going to give you the option. So I had bought her ticket because she was graduating from school. I said, I will get you a ticket to Walt Disney World if you want to go as your graduation gift. But here's the thing. We want to go to these parks. And then when it got down to it, I said, we can either go see Muppet Vision 3D or we can go to Epcot to ride the new Guardians of the Galaxy ride, and we could do Spaceship Earth because she never got a chance to ride that. And she goes, let's go to Epcot. And I was like, okay. But I wanted to make my daughter happy, so we went and we didn't get a chance to see it. But just so you guys know, Spaceship Ears, his dad actually worked on the Muppet Vision 3D, and we're going to be talking about that in a couple weeks, and we'll tell you why. So a little bit later in the show. We need to get back to the last part of the food because Cordy, you had some more stuff to talk about here. Let's bring it back up. So Disneyland 70th nostalgic bites. There we go. Inspired by vintage foods. So they're going to be bringing some old nostalgic bites back to the park for the 70th anniversary, and they're bringing back a few of Walt's favorites. So obviously he loved chili pie and of course mouse ears. So the first thing is this thing, and I don't know about you guys, but it's a Mickey hat cookie. It looks cute, but it looks kind of small to me. Doesn't it look small to you guys?
I bet it is.
Yeah, it's probably typical sugar cookie size for them. So, but just those kind of cookies are just whatever for me.
I know, me too.
I liked them as a kid. They were good.
I like how they have the old Mickey Mouse face though. For the Mickey Mouse Club on there.
That's the
artwork's
Mickey Mouse
nice.
Club. That's why,
Mm-hmm. I think we need to replace that with a Park Streamers picture on there.
There you go.
There, yep. See. Oh, I forgot to bring this up, and I meant to. Let me share this with you guys real quick because I was going to do this when I was sharing some photos of Epic Universe, but I had. Let's see if I can do this. Hold on one second. I thought this was pretty cool, and I wanted to share it with all of you. Is this? Hey, Park Streamers did make it to Epic Universe. So I took our sticker and I put it there in front of the Kronos. So that was I thought.
So we were there in spirit, TPC.
Yep. And of course it was the glitter sticker.
Of course.
Okay, you know what? We're just moving on because whatever. Jeez, you guys. It's a popular sticker. Okay. Of course. Now I don't know about you guys. So I love chili, but I don't like beans in my chili. I know I'm probably one of the few out there that doesn't like beans in his chili, but they have a chili cheese corn dog, and man, I don't know if it's the corn dog is crusted with the chili and the Fritos. I don't know. This doesn't.
I think it's almost like an open face kind of thing. Like it's
Sort of like a Korean corn dog, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. This doesn't look appetizing to me. Do you guys? It's a corn dog.
I actually think it does look kind of good.
It looks messy. It looks fun.
I'm not a corn dog person.
I'm a corn dog person. And I love chili. I just don't like beans in my chili.
It's definitely a fork and knife kind of situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a corn dog topped with chili, shredded cheddar, and corn chips. And seriously, why do they have to put the corn chips on there? I could do without it.
That's just it's the option to. Well, actually, you probably don't need it because you've got the breading for the corn dog. So there's your cornbread.
Right. Well, for this one, you got the WD chili cheese baked potato.
Well, I had that one, and that slice of cornbread is deceiving right there, because you do not get a square. You get that square is actually cut diagonally in half, and you only get half of that.
Oh.
Really?
What? Are you serious?
That's what I got.
So it's an optical illusion.
Well, that's a lie right there, because you can see
Yeah.
that you've got your four sides. You get a three-sided piece of cornbread that's half that size.
Oh.
Now
that's kind of messed up.
That beside that, it's a good, tasty, it's a sizable treat, so you'll get decently filled off of it.
Okay. We also have lemon chiffon pretzel. I don't know about you guys. Cordy, I want your opinion on this one. Lemon chiffon pretzel?
Is that slivered almonds or what is that?
No, that's pretzel.
No,
But
that
what
looks like vanilla wafer.
Oh, vanilla. Oh, you're right. So here it is.
I
Cream
like
cheese
lemon
filled
though. I
pretzel
like
dipped in
everything
lemon flavored icing, topped with crushed vanilla wafers.
If the pretzel's warm, if it's fresh and that's the big thing, right? That's probably the most important is that it's a fresh pretzel, it's warm, and then that on top of it. I could see.
It looks small.
Yeah, judging by the pieces of the vanilla wafers, yeah, it does seem like it's kind of small, but I don't know.
A pretzel cart, Star Wars by Star Tours, so it should be the normal size.
Right.
They do really well. I do not care for special corners, specialty pretzels. I do not have it on there.
I'd give this one a shot. I would definitely give it a shot.
Okay. Well, how about, hey, new bites inspired by Cassidy Fritos. So you've got your fried tamale walking taco. Okay, how do you have a tamale and a walking taco? That just sounds weird to me. How do you have a taco and tamale together? It's at Rancho del Zocalo, so you can get it there.
How does it work?
Well, the walking taco is just the wrapper instead of a shell, so that you can scoop it out. That's all they mean by walking taco.
But are we going to get
The
it?
taco does not actually walk, Bob.
Oh, come on.
Well, if it's really old and stale, I'm sure it would. It's a fried.
And if your taco is walking,
did anybody see that walking taco over there? It's for the 70th.
I'm not the only one seeing this, am I?
So the fried tamale walking taco, it's actually a fried beef tamale with chili, corn chips, and diced onions with cilantro, shredded cheese, and sour cream.
That looks really good. But I wonder if it really comes, because we got the walking taco at Universal, which was really good.
See, it actually looks appetizing, but it doesn't sound good to me reading about it.
I like it.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay, whatever, guys, stop. Mocha cream puff. All right. Who's interested in this one?
I wonder.
Not me. Oh, you are. Okay.
Yeah,
great.
mocha. I'll give it a shot.
Yeah. So it's a cream puff filled with cinnamon mocha pastry cream topped with chocolate covered corn chips. What? Seriously? Oh,
I need to know how much
Corn chips kill it.
Yeah, the corn chips I'd probably just kind of, but everything else I'd go for it.
What's with their obsession with corn chips? Jeez.
They just- they're
it's a
just trying to
Cassidy
be
Frito.
weird.
That's why.
Mhm.
Okay, but here, let's go back to the Tahitian Terrace. Let's get to this
Ooh,
one.
what is
Tropical rum cocktail.
You had me
That's
at rum.
right.
that
Tropical rum cocktail.
was delicious.
This one is Bacardi Superior Rum, Myers Rum Original Dark, pineapple, orange, and lime juices, and grenadine. That sounds amazing. I would definitely try the tropical rum cocktail. What about you guys? Danny's like, I'm out.
I would try that.
Here they have the grilled Tahitian ribs. They used to sell these many moons ago. It was a favorite, and they're going to serve it at the Bengal barbecue. And it is a succulent ribs. I like how they say ribs. It looks like two, with pineapple and rice appear on the original Tahitian Terrace menu. And we're so glad to see a modern version at the Bengal barbecue. So, and of course, we have the nostalgic Carnation inspiration. So you're going to be able to go to the Carnation Ice Cream Parlor, which opened on July 17th of 1955, and you can get ice cream at the counter with the latest creamy cool treats on Main Street. So you're going to, they don't show anything. What the heck? They talk about it, but they don't show it. You can get beef stroganoff at the Carnation Cafe in Disneyland, though. It's got the braised beef, bacon, onions.
The one above that with the inspired treats or whatever. What do we even know where that is? Is it going to be at Carnation Cafe or
Maybe below? Maybe underneath that.
It just says Carnation Ice Cream Parlor opened, and now you can get. Today, guests can experience callbacks to their favorites.
Oh, okay. So they're kind of
they're
they're
just
leading
talking about
into
it.
the next step that we're going into. Okay, got it.
Yeah, I don't know about this one. I'm not a huge beef stroganoff fan. It can be good, but I'm not a huge fan.
I wouldn't bother.
Yeah, it's got too many tomatoes in it. Of course, just kidding. The banana split, which we already talked about at the Kids and Girl Ice Cream Parlor, which Cordy's going to have to get again since she had to cancel her order.
Right. She has to order it once for the banana Savannah, the Savannah bananas, and then she has to order it once for the nostalgic treats.
Yes, it's true. That's true. I have to.
Right. So here's the funny thing. They're talking about how people used to get all these really cool treats on Main Street. And then you talk about this beef stroganoff. Okay, this is savory, one at Carnation Cafe. Then you got Gibson Girl, which is right next door. Banana split. Okay, we already covered that. Oh, churros near Goofy Sky School at Disney College. Wait, we already talked about that. That's not Main Street.
Where's the malt? Can we get a malt shake here, please?
Thank you, Cordy. Thank you. Right. I mean, I want a malt to come back so I can drop it on my foot.
A black and white malt would be awesome.
Oh my gosh. I don't know what's going on. We need those back.
Well, I would like to order a, just a vanilla malt with extra malt.
You need a Colt 45. Get some malt liquor.
A Colt 45 malt liquor? Okay, there you go. Bringing some
malt liquor. I remember those commercials as a kid. I was like, what's Schlitz malt liquor? And they're like, you can't talk about that right now. You're a kid. I'm like, what? How about this? Party like it's 1955. Seriously. And you can do it over here at the Hooks Galley Tuna Melt over at the Red Rose Tavern. You can get an old tuna melt like they used to serve on the old Chicken of the Sea ship. And so it's a fresh tuna salad wrapped with Munster and herb marinated tomatoes served with house chips. This is going to be casual's favorite go-to because it's got tomatoes.
Look at this.
It has an olive. Casual. It has an olive to counter the tomatoes.
Looks like it comes with
counters the tomatoes, huh?
And it has a sword so you can fight them off.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Look, seriously, is that chicharrones that it comes with? It looks like House chips. All right. And then we got the apple pancake rolls over the Riverbell Terrace.
Look at those seeds.
They look like crepes.
Yeah, they look like crepes.
They're crepes. They're pancakes. Rolls. Pancake rolls. That's what they are with apples and cinnamon.
Crepes.
It's apple pie topping, walnut streusel, and cinnamon chantilly cream served with your choice of bacon or sausage.
I'd eat
It
those.
probably is one slice of bacon or one slice of sausage.
What if I want bacon and sausage?
You're probably
You're going to pay another $5.
That'll be $10, please.
Okay, so who remembers Videopolis? Because in the 80s,
Yes.
that was my jam and my hangout at Disneyland. It was being able to go to Videopolis with Jed the Fish when he used to DJ there. It was so cool. In the totally tubular 1980s, Disneyland opened Videopolis and Fantasyland and proved even Mouseketeers could moonwalk. That's right. So they're going to have some really cool drinks and food to commemorate that. So you got your Dancing Shimmering Lights, which is at the Troubadour Tavern in Disneyland. It's sweet berry lemonade with blackberry topper and colorful sanding sugar.
It doesn't sparkle enough for Bob.
Shut up.
It does match the guitar, though, doesn't it?
Oh, jeez. Yes, it does match the guitar. And by the way, this actually sounds very good. We also have the Space Place Cottage Fries. It's at the Galactic Grill. These are fries tossed in Parmesan butter and parsley, served with house-made ranch. Actually, they look pretty
It
good.
does sound good.
I know. Cordy, Danny?
I'd eat them.
Cordy's like, nope.
If you put them on the table in front of me, I'll try them.
This is a no for me.
Yeah, how about the cowboy fries at the Golden Horseshoe Disneyland Park? It's got fries, nacho cheese, sauteed ground beef, burger sauce, and butter pickles. That just that looks
Take
that
the butter
sounds like a
pickles
stomach ache
away.
waiting to happen.
Yeah.
I don't like butter pickles, but I do like
Me either.
complicated food, so I'll take it.
You like
I
complicated food.
don't want the nacho cheese sauce. I want just regular cheese.
Yeah,
I
true.
agree with you, Danny. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's it. Those are that's the last thing that's on that menu. So
Yeah, GV
it's
says
got-
this is slim.
But there's a
What's that?
ton more. There's a ton of other foods that they're just not that theme, right? They're not the banana or the
yeah, so they
robot.
do have foods for the 70th anniversary. This is just the nostalgia stuff.
There was
that they're
the
bringing back.
s'mores butter cake sundae.
That sounds good.
Oh yeah. Yep,
So-
it is.
That's when
Speaking
I
of s'mores,
forgot that I wanted to try it because there were other things that I had to try first. But
one of the things that's really cool at the resort that we stayed at when we were in Florida, Cabana Bay Resort, is they have fire pits outside, huge fire pits all over the place. I think they got like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 of them. Well, you can go to the local restaurant inside. It's kind of like a hodgepodge of a food court. And they have these super long wooden sticks you can buy. And then you can buy a s'mores kit that has the marshmallows, chocolate, graham crackers, and everything. And then you can go out to those fire pits and you can roast your marshmallows and then make your s'mores. It's so good. We did that. I think we did that on Saturday night or last night there. So it was really, really cool. Since we're talking about dessert.
Mhm. I didn't try the potato on that list on the the throwback list, but
Mhm.
there's one at the studio catering truck.
Oh,
I think it's a Western loaded potato or something, but you don't like beans, so it has like beans, sour cream, butter, cheese. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Hmm.
For
I heard
$8, like it's with your discount, $8, $8.99.
wow. Yeah, the one that I got was like $10 after the discount. But they also have I think it's chicken pot pie potato at Troubadour, and I think a couple of people have gotten it and they said it's pretty good.
If you like chicken pot pie.
Right.
And Paul says, watch your marshmallow just melt right off the stick. Yes, I saw a few people do that. Well, we could talk about food all night long, and it would sound awesome, but we do need to wrap up the show. So if you guys have any questions for us regarding Epic Universe, regarding Disney Starlight, or the food that we just talked about, throw your comments or questions or sarcastic remarks into the chat, and we will answer those questions if we can. Those King V's are awesome, Brian Svia says. What? They should rename those dishes the 5-second rule. Okay.
They were saying the fries look like they were just dumped on the floor, like the presentation.
Yeah.
Looked like, yeah.
Go and show you
Mermaid.
says, oh, what's that?
Mermaid says, bring in the cats.
It's about time.
Speaking of cats, oh, we're so glad to come home because our cats, we missed our cats.
I bet.
What was your favorite ride of the trip? Oh, so you guys are going to find this really, really interesting, but as much as I love Epic Universe and the rides were very, very cool, I got to tell you, one of my favorite rides of the trip was actually Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. That and Tron, both of those were pretty amazing. And not that I didn't love the rides at Epic Universe, it's just that I had never been on either one of those. I've been dying to ride them, and I think Guardians of the Galaxy probably just edged out Tron briefly. It was pretty cool.
What about Velocicoaster?
Oh, that was amazing too. That was the first ride we got on when we got to any of the theme parks on Saturday, and it was just a blast to ride. Although I will tell you, and I was telling Tom about this, and I don't know if I told you, Danny. I know I told Spaceship Ears this as well. There's a trend going on lately at theme parks, and it's driving me nuts right now. And that is, I get on a ride, and you've got not just kids and not just teenagers, but you have young adults or adults who are yelling and screaming profanity on the ride and just acting crazy throughout the whole entire ride, so much so that you can't enjoy it. Yeah, that's not a lot of fun, and I encountered that quite a bit. So, in fact, the very last ride I ever rode Saturday night was, or no, actually, it was not Saturday night. It was Friday night. The last roller coaster I went on was Velocicoaster at night, and I got on the ride, and because I was by myself, I had another guy join me, and his friends were like, "Oh, dude, you got to ride with that guy?" And he's like, "Oh, I got to ride with a stranger." They're like, "What are you going to do?" And these guys are in their late 20s. I'm like, what the heck? And the whole entire time, I kid you not, from the time the ride took off, it just took off where it's starting to go to where the launch is. The guy started yelling and screaming and acting like an idiot, and then saying the F word, S word, damn, all sorts of stuff. And it was like, really? It got to the point I told Tom, I said, halfway through the ride, as you go over the top hat, I turned to him and I said, just shut up, all right? Just shut up. I was yelling at him because I was like, you're ruining my experience. And he didn't stop. Even when the ride ended and we're going back to the station, he was still yelling and screaming like a maniac. And I was like, this is my last ride that I'm going on, and this was my last experience. What is wrong with people? That was the one thing I didn't enjoy about the Florida rides, that even at Walt Disney World, it was like, people acting inappropriately on the rides and saying things they shouldn't say. And it really made me mad, because there are times when, we had my daughter, on the ride with us, and I'm like, really? I don't want her hearing this stuff. So yeah, that was my pet peeve for the trip. Can you have security
done
take
nice things to that guy?
Those people out? Well, you could complain. But unless you're doing something to you, typically they don't do anything.
My shoe might have fell off that ride.
Right. Sounds like me riding Goofy Sky School. I felt so bad I'll never ride that one again. Oh, sorry. Any other questions? Let's see here. Kids are not really well behaved lately. But it wasn't just kids. It was, these kids were adults. They weren't kids. They were in their late 20s, just acting like idiots.
Somebody asked what your favorite food was.
Ooh, my favorite food?
On the trip,
okay, so it may sound kind of plain, but one of my favorite things on the trip was, we went to Volcano Bay, which is right behind me, and they had a pulled pork barbecue sandwich, and it was so good. Like, it had great flavor, and I seriously thought about having it again the second time I went to Volcano Bay, but I was doing a live stream and I forgot to eat lunch. So it was pretty amazing.
Well, I got a question for you, Bob.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you had to do it over again, what would you do differently?
I think I think I would have probably gone back to Walt Disney World, believe it or not, another time. And I think I would have approached Epic Universe a little bit differently too. I would have gone to Isle of Berk first instead of the Super Nintendo World and hit all those rides and gotten those done first. I probably would have done that a little bit differently. And then, of course, I had a really successful stream at Walt Disney World and everyone liked it there. The only problem was it was really weird. The weather, it rained, and I know it rains in Florida all the time. In fact, if you guys saw my little short
You're in
video,
rainy season.
yeah, it's a rainy season, and I know it rains. I was making a joke about, I can't believe, it's rainy here, but it did kind of ruin my stream as well as the experience, because literally at Walt Disney World it rained for like over 3 hours and we couldn't do anything. I think people were watching my live stream going, Bob can't go anywhere or do anything because he doesn't have an umbrella. And that was the other thing. They ran out of umbrellas at Walt Disney World and other theme parks like Universal. They only had ponchos, and it was just kind of ridiculous. So
I have that wonderful umbrella you gave me.
That's true. We did buy that. So because we were on Tuesday where I made that short video, it was pouring so bad. My wife and I bought Tom and his wife an umbrella so they could actually walk with us. We had ponchos, but I had squishy feet after that.
We were walking through a good 3-4 inches of water, everybody.
Yeah, it was crazy. Our shoes were soaked. In fact, it literally took about 3 or 4 days before my shoes were almost dry, just because we didn't have any place to put them to dry them off. So
they did this Slytherin wrong though. They bought me a Gryffindor umbrella.
That's the only thing they had. That was the problem.
I'm teasing.
So, it's Bob's Bayou Adventure. Spaceship Beer says that. Whoops, that's hilarious. Yeah, it felt like that. So that's funny. Oops. Any other questions, comments? Let's see. I mean, Joe Rod says, thanks for the hangout. Good night, everyone. So good night. Do you want to walk around with an umbrella in a lightning storm? Yes, we did. It was a lot of fun. It's funny, though, because it did strike pretty close and pretty hard. And you guys, if you haven't seen the short video, you need to go back and see it, because at one point I'm showing the rain, and then you hear the thunder, and Ariel's like, someone's mad. And I said, the Tiki Room reference, like, someone left a shower running. It's like, but yeah, it was super loud. They were striking close. Volcano Bay looked fun. Yes, it was very fun. Obero comes on the live streams more. It was fun to chat with her last week. Thank you, Chris Joe. Yeah, she's been in school. That's why she hasn't been on, but I'm hoping that we can get her back on soon. Costco has a deal right now. Have you guys seen this deal that Costco has? The tickets? So you get 3 days in the park hopper, with a Lightning Lane upgrade and $30 in food credit for like $450.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking about maybe getting that and bringing her to the park.
Cool.
Yeah, let's see. All right, I don't see any other questions, and I know we need to get going and wrap up because Danny's got to get up early in the morning. So with that, if you guys do have any questions, you can always send us, an email to parkstreamers@gmail.com, or, you can just come hang out with us whenever you want to. Let's see here. All right. Well, with that, let's go ahead and say goodnight to everyone. Tom, I know you have a channel. Why don't you talk about your channel and where we can find you?
Yeah, it's just at TJ Magnify on YouTube. It's just rocket launches, dog stuff, and might be some guitar things. Probably do some park stuff eventually. Mm-hmm. And I'll get to that eventually. And I'm modding for everybody on Berry Place, Pro Show, a whole bunch of other different places.
Awesome. Very cool. And Cordy, where can we find you, and when are you streaming next?
You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Discord, and Twitch. If Thursday opens up, I guess I'll be there Thursday.
Cool. And by the way, congratulations to your son on the wedding. So that was very cool. Glad to hear that. And Theme Park Casual, where can we find you, and when are you streaming next?
You can find me on YouTube, X, and Instagram, all of them at Theme Park Casual, and I am planning to be in the parks on Thursday evening.
Awesome. And everyone, you can find me at BarryPlace28 on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, X, and Facebook. And I will also be at Disneyland on Thursday evening. And it looks like my dad will be joining me. So that's going to be cool. Yay. See, trying to bring the fam in. Everyone seems to like it when I bring Ariel or my dad. And I can't always bring, both of them because Ariel doesn't have pass anymore. And obviously, I didn't think I was going to be able to bring my dad, but thank you for letting me know, Casual, that the reservations opened up and I made a reservation. So I'm sure he's watching going. All right. Well, everyone, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I wanted to let you know that we have a special show for you in a couple weeks. We are actually going to have what? What is that?
It's 10:21.
It's what?
Archie's letting me know it's time for me to get going.
Wrap it up.
Daryl Jim said you missed a question, Bob.
Oh, what was the question?
Has Bob ridden on a dinosaur ride in Disney's Animal Kingdom?
I did. Actually, I took Ariel on it for the very first time and her last time because we will not be back before that closes. But yes, we went on it and it's a lot of fun. The sad thing is there's a lot of things. It's a very dark ride. It's very reminiscent, obviously, of Indiana Jones, but there's some dinosaurs not working and it's definitely, they're not, it's kind of like Splash Mountain. They're not really doing anything to keep that ride up. So I'm sad to see it leave, but it was a fun ride to go on. In fact, that whole area, it's just that and the boneyard left at Animal Kingdom. Everything else for the Tropical Americas is being worked on. So, okay. So I was going to say something. What was I going to say? Other than I think it's time to go. So, I'll think of it later. You guys, thank you so much for. Oh, I was talking about who's going to be on our show next. That's who it was, or what it was. So 2 weeks from tonight, on the 16th, the day after Father's Day, we will have a special guest on our show. We're going to have Spaceship Ears with his dad, John Decor. And it's great because Spaceship Ears' grandfather was, one of the Imagineers who has a window at Walt Disney World, which I showed when it was very, very cool. And his dad also worked in production and worked for Walt Disney Company. So Spaceship Ears and his father were going to be on the show with us for a special after Father's Day show. So it's going to be great. Hope you guys will come join us for that show. And then we also have Eddie Soto, who's going to be on our show on June 30th. So we have a lot of amazing guests. And after June 30th, we may be having a show every week or so, possibly, to bring some other guests on from Chalk Walk and whatnot. So I hope you guys will join us, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. And don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button if you're enjoying the channel and you haven't subscribed. And with that, we will say goodnight, and thank you so much for watching us. Kids, dreamers, jammers, have a great night. Bye, everyone.
See you, kids.
Good night, everyone.